Jost was the quickest in the afternoon session and moved up, I think, from 5th place on the grid to take that joint front row slot. Row 2, we have the number from 2015 and 2016, that's Adam Coate. And he's joined by the leading British driver, that's the 3 kart of Liam Morley. Liam trying a new aerodynamic wings and various other setups this weekend. Row 3, we have the 5 kart of Jette Brabander, winner here last year in the opening race, and he's joined on the 3rd row by the 4 kart of Daniel Clark. Row 4, the 7, Marcel Masman, and 19, Jason Dredge. Row 5, the 6 kart of Leo Kirstens, and 16, Carl Kinsey. Row 26, Jürgen Drenker, and the 14 kart of David Harvey. Row 7, 10, Vesa Leitonen, and 20, Mark Verhaan. Row 8, the number 8 kart of Carl Hume, and 93, Ingvar Berger. Row 9, number 9, Jamie Zuleta, and 41, Tom Rushforth. Row 10, 76, Danny Chan, and the 90 kart of Kai Cruz. And the 11th and final row is 25, Paul Pettersson, and the 17 kart of Jean-Marc Marchesa. Interesting to note that Paul Pettersson, unfortunately on the back row of the grid, but was the Grand Prix winner at Silverstone back in 1985. And Carl Hume had a couple of problems. He's only got out in one session and was doing an engine rebuild yesterday evening, but hopefully he's got that sorted out and lines up on that run. So the karts have been released from the dummy grid, 1 rolling lap behind the pace car, and we will be having the first race of 13 laps, which equates to 50 kilometres. That's the standard CI car for the length of Superkart European Championship races. So the pace car takes the field of 22 karts down to the Melbourne Loop. The lights are out on the pace car, so we will be going for a start this time. Nice compact grid order. 2x2 formation, so it's the 1 of Elkman, it's the 12 of Jost. Then behind them we've got the 2 kart of Adam Coate and the 3 kart of Liam Morley. The single numbers and some of the other numbers represent where they finished in the European Championship last year. So the pace car out of Goddard's into pit lane. Lights are on, slow rolling. And it's Elkman that gets the start, and Jost tucks in behind, but Dan Clark got a start from the row of the grid, but going down into Redgate for the first time. It looks like it is the 1 kart of Elkman that does take the lead as they disappear through Redgate for the first time. Massive kart stream down Hollywood and through the trainer curves, and it's side by side. It looks like Brabander gets up into that, looks like into 2nd place ahead of Jost. Then it's Daniel Clark and Liam Morley there as well, but Elkman has got the run on them as they go through Old Hairpin and up towards Schwantz Curve and McLean's for the first time. With Saul Masman holding off, I think that was Leo Persons, but it's Elkman that comes onto the exhibition straight for the first time. Chased by, I think, Adam Coate actually into 2nd place. 2 karts, so it is Elkman, it is Adam Coate, then it's the Brabander and the 12 kart of Jost looking for a move up the inside into Melbourne Loop, doesn't quite pull it off, so Brabander holds on to that third spot, but Yost has got compromised, and that's allowed Liam Morley up into that fourth spot. So as they come out of Goddard's for this first lap, and it is the one kart of Elkman, then it's Ad Cote, the Brabander, Liam Morley, Andries Yost, then it's Marcel Masman, Daniel Clark, Superkarts, followed by 6 of Leo Kirstens. They head down to Redgate for lap 2. Looking further back, Cole Kinsey there in 9th spot ahead of Jason and Carl Hume, the 8th kart in 11th spot, but down through Craner curves for this second time. Carl Hume through the old hairpin, so an engine rebuild overnight. That 11th spot, and a bit of time to make up, and into the pit lane to take no further part is the 17 kart of our French visitor, that's Jean-Marc Chaise. It's Elkman that leads the way at the moment. Through the Fogarty S's and his lead over the 2 kart of Adam Cote. The Brabander now coming under the pressure from Liam Morley as they go into the Melbourne Loop. Positions unchanged. So we'll be looking out for the times for Peter when we get close to that record time of 1:25.4 from last season, but crosses the line to complete 2 laps. Adam Cote giving chase, and the 5 kart of the Brabander leads Morley. And it's Andries Yost on the 12, followed by Marcel Masman, Daniel Clark, 19 of Jason Dredge, then Cole Kinsey there in 9th place ahead of Carl Hume, 10. And then in 11th place, the 20 kart of Mark Verhaar. And looking further back, Tom Rushforth there in 14th place. Danny Chan down there in 7th, and Pal Patterson down there in 19th spot. Through Schwantz curve, go to Brabander and chased by Liam Morley. To fast Coppis, double apex right-hander. Back onto the exhibition straight. But it's Elkman that still leads the way through the Fogarty S's, and looks as if he can increase that lead over Adam Cote as Liam Morley gets a good run. The S's and tucks in behind to Brabander, looks for a move up the inside of into them and makes the move stick. So Liam Morley, the 3 kart, up into 3rd spot, side by side on the exit. So he's going to hang on to that 3rd place as they come up to Goddard's. The Brabander looking up the inside again as they go outside momentarily. And yes, got the move through. The Brabander determined not to lose that 3rd spot, but Elkman all went into Redgate as the 3rd and 4th place drivers crossed the start line. So Elkman already opening up a lead of 2.9 seconds. Fastest lap that time around, a 1:27.008. So slightly quicker than his pole time yesterday. So are we going to see him dip into the 1:26? Further back, Yost was on a 27.7, so he's quicker than the 3 drivers in front of him. Through the old hairpin, you see Jason Dredge, 10 kart. Qualifying Jason spent a lot of testing over in Ireland this season. So it's Elkman that leads the way. And, 2.9 seconds at the end of that lap. The Brabander about 1.8 seconds behind Adam Cote, but down to Melbourne for the next time, and this fight for 3rd place. It was still the Brabander from Morley looking for a move, not quite close enough, but that's allowed the 12 kart for Andries Yost. Has become a 3-way battle now. Are they able to reel in the 2 karts of Adam Cote? So it's Elkman that crosses the line to complete 4 laps, and yes, dip below the 1:27 barrier. 1:26.924 this lap so far. Yost in that order to go into Redgate. Marcel Masman up into 6th ahead of Daniel Clark, who has disappeared. Now where's Daniel Clark? Daniel Clark into pit lane, so the 4 kart of Daniel Clark, as if his race is over, pulls out of that spot. As the leaders go through Schwant's curve and three-way fight. And like Morley has now got the head of Brabanda as they go through Coppice. No, it looks like it's still, sorry, the 5 kart from the 3 kart down the 12. So that's Brabanda, Morley and Andrew Yost. Peter Elkman is already approaching the Melbourne Loop. And Morley gets a good run out of the Fogarty Chess as he pulls alongside the Brabanda going down to the Melbourne this time round and gets back that 3rd spot. So this back for 3rd, no way is it over with 4 laps done. Coming up to completion of lap 5 for Peter Elkman. His lead over Adam Cope now is up to 4.3 seconds. As Morley gets clear of the Brabanda going down to Redgate, so we'll monitor that gap between him and Adam Cope. 1:27.4 for Liam Morley that time, 1:27.6 for Adam Cope, so potentially quicker that time around. Both those drivers setting their personal best. A slightly slower lap for 4.3 seconds ahead. Carl Hume now up to 7th spot ahead of Cole Kinsey, Mark Bahar, Dave Harvey in 10th, and then Jürgen Reinke and Tom Rushell is down there in the 13th spot. So now Andrew Yost closing up onto the back of the Brabanda as they go through Coppice. Can we get the run down the exhibition straight? Closes up, and that's the 19 car of Jason Dredge out of the race. So helmet off, walks away. So Jason Dredge out of the race. Mr. Brabanda and side by side down to Melbourne. So, Brabanda fights him off as they go into the hairpin side by side on the exit. And while they're fighting among themselves, it's allowed Liam Morley to get about 5 lengths gap over them as Elkman crosses the line to complete 6 laps. And Coates still there in 2nd place. It's this scrap for 4th spot between Yost and the Brabanda. And it's still side by side, Brabanda up the inside. Oh, and he spun it! So the Brabanda went move up the inside at Redgate. And that's his race over. I think he's in the gravel on the outside. Yeah, steps out of the cart. Will he be able to get started? Looks like he's picking up the back. And is the 5 kart going to sort of try and get that kart going again? So try to move on and Yost. And pushing the kart, and it's fired up. So Brabanda gets back into the kart. Is the motor running? Yes, it is. But that's lost him a potential 5th place. So as we see Peter Elkman out into the Melbourne Loop. And where has Liam Morley gone? Because the 3 karts has now gone missing. So we've now got Elkman ahead of Coates. And then in 3rd place it is the 12 kart of Andrew Yost. So the 3 kart of Liam Morley has gone missing. So 2 of the top 5 was out within the space of a lap. It's Elkman that crosses the line to complete 7 laps. So we're just over half distance now. And the lead 5.5 seconds. With Marcel Masman, the 7 kart into 4th place. And looking further back, we've got Carl Hume now up into 5th spot. So the 8 kart of Carl Hume has pulled right through to 5th spot ahead of the 20 kart of Mark Bahar. So somebody off on the outside of Fogarty S's car. Make out who it is from this angle, but it's going to lead the way in this one. And Brabanda crosses the line, so he dropped right back to 13th spot, but could all pick up points for a finish. But with 3/4 of a lap behind the leaders, I think best he can hope for is a top 10 spot. Elton all the way at the moment. Into Goddards again. And out onto the start-finish straight to complete 8 laps. And on 27.3, so he's eased the pace. Got a huge lead now, say 5.5 seconds over Adam Coates in the second place. Andrew Jost still there in third spot, 3.4 seconds behind. And Adam Coates set his personal best of the race so far, 1:27.4, but that was still a tenth of a second slower than Outman's time last time around. Marcel Masman, 11 seconds behind the 12 kart of Andrew Jost. There with Zuleta and Ranker as they come across the start-finish line to complete 8 laps and into Redgate. Further back now we can see over 25 of Paul Patterson. And where is the 5 kart? Band crosses the line, it's 13th place, so 59 seconds. Leader. And here comes Danny Chan ahead of Kai Cruz. All the way at the moment. Completed. Another consistent lap, 7.5. So let's have a look at Adam Coates' time, also a 27.5. So still that gap of 5.5 seconds. And just a further 4.7 behind. As we see Carl Hume come out of the Melbourne Loop. Up towards Goddard, so Carl Hume there in 5th spot. And across the line. That's his personal best of the race so far, 1:30.394, but not as quick as the guys in front of him. But Carl Hume got a handy 6-second gap over Mark Verhaar, who's holding that 6th spot ahead of that scrap with Jürgen Reinke and Dave Harvey and Vesa Lehtinen. And the 9 parts of Jamie Zuleta. Tom Russell's another second behind. So that little group of 4 or 5 karts is going to concertina, I think, over the next few laps. Dave Harvey hold off Vesa Lehtinen. Goes through Old Hairpin up towards the Schwantz curve. Dave Harvey, the uncle of Jack Harvey, who was successfully running in the Indy 500. It's side, and Dave Harvey loses that spot to Vesa Lehtinen as they go up through Coppice. Zuleta tucked in behind, so those 3 nose to tail as they come along the exhibition straight towards the Fogarty S's. So Elkman has crossed the line to complete 10 laps, 3 to go. And Adam Coates has knocked about half a second off that gap, so it's just over 5 seconds now. 27.5 for Adam Coates last time around. And then we see this 10, 9, 14, 41. So Tom Russell is now closing up onto the back of Dave Harvey as they go down towards Redgate. So that's going to be the battle for a 10th spot. Both those drivers racing later on in the Grand Prix and also around the British Championship. Yannick Brabanda 13th, but he's putting lap times in of about 2 seconds up quicker than the guys in front, so we could see the Brabanda within the next 3 laps onto the back of that Harvey Rushforth battle. Elton out and puts a lap on 26 of Danny Chan as they go down towards Redgate. 7 laps done, 2 to go. Adam Coates. A similar lap time, keeps a gap at just on 5 seconds. Andrew Schloss there still in the 3rd spot, 6.1 seconds behind, but to look further back as Marcel Masman crosses the line. And we make the arrival of Carl Hume, so riding through plains up towards Poppis as Carl Hume crosses the line, still holding that 5th spot, but it's Elkman's race, totally in control as he comes onto the exhibition straight, and Adam Coates closes up onto the back of the 76 kart, Danny Chen, and somebody off at Fogarty S's, and who that's that the 41 kart of Tom Rushforth. It does look indeed like it is the 41 kart, so Tom Rushforth on the outside of Fogarty Essex, so that's elevated the Brabanda up into 12th spot. Here comes the 1 kart of Peter Elkman to start last lap, gets the board, nod to the officials, knows that one more lap of this Donington GP circuit to go. Adam Coates slightly quicker that time and reduces the gap to 4.7 seconds, but I can't see any coming on this final turn. Yoss still there in 3rd spot. Coates going down through the training post and into the old hairpin, the number 2 car, looking from 2015-2016, but can he catch that 1 car, Peter Elton, on this final tour? Carl Humes across the line, 5th spot. It's chasing Peter Elkman onto the exhibition straight for the time. You look back and see that the 10 kart of Vesselman is still holding off Dave Harvey. Kinsey next through ahead of the Brabanda. But it's Elkman down to the Melbourne loop for the final time. So some points for him. Coates slightly closer this time around, but into Goddard's for the final time, and it is going to be a win for the 1 kart to open up his championship season with the maximum points. Bumps his chest, arm in the air, so the 1 kart takes the victory from the 2 of Adam Coates, as we await the 3rd place of Andreas Yost, who crosses the line now. Chan a lap down, but looks like he's going to be classified in 13th spot. That's 7 of Marcel Masman. And got us on cue. And we wait for the first of the British contingent. And here comes the 8 kart of Carl Hume into Goddard's for the final time. That engine rebuild overnight certainly done the power of good. Gets a checker flag and gets that spot. We'll wait for 20 kart to complete the top 6 of Mark Bahar. And I shall be handing over to Duncan so that I can rush down to the podium and hopefully I can get some interviews with the drivers there. We've got the first three from that first race. And if we can bring them out onto the podium. So in third place, Andres Yost. Second place, the number 2 car, Adam Coates. And the winner, and has broken his first race jinx at Donington, Peter Elkman. Okay, to present the trophies, the third place trophy being presented by Tom Maylink. And a garland. The second place trophy to be presented by Hanif Galani of Lake Automotive. Ex-Division 1 driver himself, raced in Europe and the UK many times. And the winner's trophy also being presented by Hanif to Peter Elkman. And we will have the German national anthem. Okay, so we'll try to get a quick photo with the first three. So Andrew's third place. So you had a bit of a scrap there with Yannick, and he tried to move on you on at Red Gate, but it didn't come off.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the start was not the best. Got overtaken by 2 or 3 karts. Then obviously the gap to Peter was too far. And I think I ruined my tires until I wasn't able to catch up with Adam. But still happy with the first podium this year.
Excellent, well done, okay. And our second place, Adam, you gave it a good chase, but maybe sort of 4 or 5 seconds at the finish, but more to come from later on?
Yeah, the start was good for me. I would took Andreas, but then I can't keep Peter. So I just trying to be constant and to go as it was.
Great stuff. Well done, Adam. And Peter, we spoke yesterday and you said that the first race is always a jinx for you and you never seem to be able to finish, but you've broken.
This is how, for me, this is how to can start a good race day, good Sunday for us. All we planned before, how to go in the race worked well, kart worked well, engine worked well, yeah, and then you can earn a result like this. Great.
Excellent, but still not near your lap record. That's what's disappointing you at the moment.
Yeah, the lap times are not as quick as it were last year. So I don't know what really is the reason for that, but race win is a race win, so that's the important thing, maximum points, and that's it.
Excellent, well done. Okay, that's your first, second and third. So that's Andres Joss in third, Adam Coat in second place, and your winner, Peter Elkman.
Komm, wir machen ein bisschen Champagner nach da vorne.
Okay folks, so after a quick dash back from the podium, next race out on circuit, and it's the second race for the 250 Nationals, a round of the MSA British Superkart Championship, and Geordie Ford is touring, so has he got a problem? The 101 kart out of position. Pace car pulls in, so we're going to go for a start this time. It's Cowie and Liam Fox in the front row. And where is Geordie Ford? The 101 dives into pit lane. So that's not going to be a start for him, but he's not ready for the championship, so he's not going to be losing any points in this, but he'll be trying to get a lap time from the race, and obviously the one from Yessi to set him up for a slot on the Grand Prix grid later on in the day. But as they stream through Old Hairpin for the first time, it looks like the two kart of Liam Fox with a real gaggle behind. Just want to pick up who that is in second place, and Stuart Cowie round the outside. The 99 kart to try and make it two twins at the front. These guys not racing as part of the championship. As they stream through the Fogarty S's for the first time, and it's two kart of Liam Fox, Stuart Cowie 99, and it's Andy Bird there in third place, and he's been attacked from all sides as they go into the Melbourne Loop. So the four kart, the leader in the MSA Championship race, and just want to work out that who that is that's giving him a hard time, but Stuart Cowie closes up onto the back of Liam Fox as they come across the line for the first time. It's the 83 kart of Colin Menery. So the three Irish guys in the twin cylinder karts take the first three places, and take the lead from Liam Fox as they go through Redgate for the first time. Paul Platt now ahead of Jack Layton, and then Ross Allen there in sixth spot, and Matt Isherwood, the 60 car, having a guest drive this weekend there in seventh spot ahead of the English champion in the Division 1 class. That's Paul Hewitt running the E1 kart. Then we've got Julian Davis, Gavin Bennett, the Grand Prix holder, in 10th ahead of the 95 kart of Curtis Seymour. That's Platt, that's he's trying to get another maximum points for his at title number 5. Got another win yesterday. He's only been defeated once this season by his teammate, the one kart of Dan Clark, who when I was down on the podium earlier on seemed to be having trouble starting that gas, and I can see, but he's actually got out in this race. So that's the one of Dan Clark is out, and Geordie Fox into pit lane for the first time. But Stuart Cowie that leads out of Melbourne and up to Goddard's, chased by the two kart of Liam Morley. Then it's Platt 0, then it's the E-karts, Jack Layton, the English champion in 250 Nationals, and Andy Bird. This is a repeat of the scrap that they had at Silverstone a few weeks ago, and we've also got Matt Isherwood and Ross Allen in the mix. Ross Allen up onto the rear bumper of Matt Isherwood as they go up into Redgate, closes right up, but not quite close enough to get a move. As they disappear down Crane the curves, and it's still Platt from the E-kart of Jack Layton, and Andy Bird there third in the 250 national class as Matt Isherwood holds off Ross Allen. Sixth kart of multi Grand Prix. Mark Allen, the manufacturer of the Jade chassis. So Isherwood having a guest drive this weekend, had a good run out at the Alton Park Championship meeting at October last year, and surprised a few people by leading some of the early laps. And Geordie Ford out on circuit, so the 101 kart back out on the track, obviously not chasing points, but obviously to get a decent lap time so that he can secure that pole position for the Grand Prix later on today. So, up at the front, is still the... Stuart Coey's hand goes in the air. Stuart Coey, the 99 kart, is in trouble. And a moment's hesitation, still seems to be under power, but that's allowed 2 karts of Liam Fox to take over at the front. And now Stuart Coey into pit lane, so it's Paul Platt now into second place from E, Jack Layton and Andy Bird. Then it's Matt Isherwood, Ross Allen, Stuart Coey through into the pit lane. So Paul Hewitt, another of the twin-cylinder drivers, up into 6th place ahead of a fantastic from young Curtis Seymour, the 95 kart there in 7th place. And that would be 5th place overall in the 250 national class, ahead of the 21 kart of Don Kennedy and the 8 kart of Julian Davis. But Stuart Coey, early leader, out of the race. It's further back, you see karts going through, and that looks like it's Costas Karitsis on the 450 going through Old Hall. And the 57 kart of Mark Pask. Mark Pask holding, 15th place. No, so my correction, that's actually the 7 kart of Gareth James. Gareth James making a comeback at this meeting. Finished 7th in the championship last year. So changing colour seems to put me out there, but Gareth James, good to see him back on the grid. But front, it's the 2 kart of Liam Fox. It's being chased by this trio of 250 national karts and single cylinder karts. Zero, the UK Cup holder of Paul Platt. English champion, the E-plate of Jack Layton. He's got a little bit squirrely on the exit there, and that's allowed Andy Bird, the 4 kart, to close up. They head down towards Redgate. Andy Bird ducks out, the slipstream goes up inside for that 2nd spot and takes the place. So, but Jack Layton comes back alongside as they go down through Craner Curve. So Jack Layton not going to give up that very easily. There goes the 69 kart of Costas Karitsis, who I think should be leading the 450 class. But it's scrap for 3rd place between Layton and Bird, E and 4. And Stuart Coey looks as if he's back out on circuit. I can see him going down towards the Melbourne Loop, so whether they were having a problem, but it looks as if the 99 kart is back on track, but Tom's lost a lot of them. So 2 of our early pit stop drivers, Coey and Geordie Ford, now back up on circuit, but we'll monitor their lap times. But no, it looks like Stuart Coey now back into pit lane, so obviously the problem cannot be fixed. Odds for the of 5 laps, and still the 2 kart of Liam Fox, with Paul Platt sitting there in 2nd place in the 250 nationals. He's got a decent gap now over the English champion Jack Layton and Andy Bird. Can Andy Bird close up again this time? Not quite close enough into Redgate this time to challenge for that spot, but and I think Andy Bird's transponders on AWOL because he's tumbling down the timing screen, but we know he was on the back of yep, there we go, back up into 1st place with Matt Isherwood there in 5th ahead of Ross Allen, Paul Hewitt there in 7th ahead of Curtis Seymour, Kennedy, Julian Davis, Tom Hatfield down there in 11th place, lying 2nd in the championship at the moment, but I think Tom wouldn't be so happy with sort of being down there in 11th place ahead of the 7 kart of Gareth James. Gavin Bennett a long way back, so the GP karts on Gavin Bennett, just trying to see, he's 1 lap down in 30th place, so both Gavin Bennett and Geordie Ford down at the back of the field. So we see the karts, Julian Davis, the 8 kart, chasing Don Kennedy through Coppice and onto the exhibition straight. So he was through Melbourne. Paul Platt momentarily held up by a slower kart, but still looks as if he's closing onto the back of that 2 kart of Liam Fox. So 5.5 minutes to go in this race, and it's certainly noticeably as they come across start finish to complete 6 laps. So is the 0 kart going to close in onto the back of the 2 kart? As both Matt Isherwood and Ross Allen with a lap on the 58 kart of Mary Howarth. There's a good little scrap there, and Don Kennedy's got a twin one side and he's got Curtis Seymour the other side, and I think they're coming to lap the slower kart, and it's 3, almost 4 abreast into Redgate, and that's not actually, I think it's Julian Davis, sorry, my apologies. So Julian Davis, Don Kennedy, Curtis Seymour and Paul Hewitt all locked together for that scrap for 7th place.
Morning, Gary. Sorry about my lateness. John Galway back with you.
That's all right, John.
Somewhat a bit of a 12-hour sleep last night. I'm really exhausted. And have I just arrived in time to see one of my fellow countrymen leading?
You have indeed, but unfortunately Stuart Cowie was leading and had to pull into the pits, went back out again, but it wasn't sufficient, and he's back in the pit lane. And
Stuart will be supporting Liam nevertheless, and
but it's Paul Platt that's closing up onto the back of Liam Fox as they go down towards the Melbourne Loop. So they're not, they're only racing each other for position, shall I say, on the circuit. They're not in the same championship.
Yep. So
Paul can just sit on the back of Liam, knowing he's got the maximum points, get a good tow from the twin. So, and yeah, certainly much closer this time. So Paul Platt, get close enough to put a move as they go into red, not quite close enough. The power of the two. Just Ross Allen, the 6th car. So what has happened? Ross Allen dives into lane. So a problem for the 6th kart of Ross Allen, who's going so well. Scrap with Matt Isherwood. It was a last-minute change, but that's 3 abreast into Redgate. That's Julian, Don Kennedy, and Gareth James, I think. No, sorry, Curtis Seymour. So that's now the battle for 6th place. And Paul Hewitt just a little bit off the back of that group. But that 3-race scrap for 6th place is going to keep us interested for the next 3.5 minutes. So, front is Platt, later Bird, Isherwood, Davis, Kennedy, Seymour are the 250 national runners. They're taking that twin of Liam Fox, the 2 kart, come across from Ireland. A regular supporter of the Superkart Grand Prix here at Donington Park. Yes. Paul Platt makes a lunge, and I thought Paul was going to go down the inside of Liam Fox into Melbourne. It was a very late move and almost came off, but I think rather than risk any damage and put both of them out, I think Paul managed to back out of that at the last minute. But
well, Liam knows it's single, of course, challenging him, but there's still a little bit of pride, there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually whether Paul's getting a bit frustrated sitting there, but if he knows what the gap is he's got over Jack Layton and Andy Bird, he can more or less, as you say, sit on Liam's bumper. I think Liam's obviously got the race down the straight, but I think Paul's certainly quick through some of the corners. So
you can always deep directly over the line and both take the other. So Liam's a very calm guy, and he'll not get ruffled out there at all. And he said yesterday he's quite small in stature. He right down into that outfit, very, very flat. And they lay down carts from years ago. The truth, they're all lay down ready now, but he does fit very well in there and drives it in a very calm, assured manner always, no matter what circuit he's on.
Scrap for 6th place going in the way of Don Kennedy at the moment. So Don holding off Curtis Seymour and Julian Davis, who pushed the back of that little group. So that's the 71, the 95 and the 8 karts. Andy Bird closing up onto the back of Jack Layton. So Jack Layton having to defend that spot. And Paul Platt does get the pass on Liam Fox into Melbourne Loop this time. But is Liam going to look up the inside, come into Goddard's? Yes, he does. He's got the inside line as they come into Goddard. So it's the 2 and the 0 side by side. And no, it's Platt that comes out ahead, one either side of the 62 kart, to put a lap on them. But Fox now down the inside, the superior power, and chops across, and Paul Platt looks to come back up the inside of him as they into Redgate. So Fox got the moved across, and then Poat moved out and took the inside line as they go into Redgate. So Paul determined to get a win on the road as well as in the class.
Yeah, I think they both lost a bit of determination. In truth, I think that was maybe a little bit foolish. They could have taken each other out. But, well, they crossed the line first. Cross the line first is the idea.
To finish first you've got to finish.
Yeah, exactly.
As, Gavin Bennett GP car back into pit lane, so not a good race for Gavin.
And Gavin didn't have a good day yesterday either. He retired yesterday early on, didn't he? One of the races anyway.
Down the order in the points as well, but as we see the leaders go through Coppice and the exhibition straight, and we are on to the final lap. So is it going to be a win for Liam Fox? Is it going to be a win for Paul Platt, as Paul Platt has to go on the outside of some slower karts through the Foggers Yeses, and that's given Liam Fox the distance he needs. And then it's Andy Bird and Jack Layton closing up onto some slower karts as they come into Melbourne as well. So traffic may be causing a bit of a problem. It's Liam Fox that looks as if he's going to get the honours of taking the flag in this one. But Paul Platt will be happy to get the maximum points, the 40 points that go towards his championship, as Andy Bird and Jack Layton come across our karts. Andy Bird that gets that third place on the road and second in class from Jack Layton, as we look further back for the 60 kart of Matt Isherwood. Here comes Matt, the familiar black and yellow crash helmet, who gets fourth, no, that would be fifth spot, because once again Andy Bird's transponder doesn't look as if it's been picked up. And then we see scrap, and it's Don Kennedy that just gets the verdict from Julian Davis and Curtis Seymour. Good scrap there for that sixth spot. So I'm going to scurry downstairs again. I'll keep you amused up here. You can read in the rest of the
we can hear you perfectly up
riders,
there,
and I'll get a quick word with our top three.
Well, you can give Liam my congratulations and tell him I'm glad he allowed to come over here again once more.
So we'll let the other carts move through down the pit lane to go to their park ferme. We'll allow the drivers to have a quick debrief amongst themselves. So another 40 points for Paul Platt in the championship, 2 wins this weekend, so more to come, Paul.
Yeah, a little bit more probably in the engine. I've been a little bit conservative, shall I say, because I want to make sure the MSA championship. So Geordie has got probably a little bit of pace, but I think it's more in the chassis than the actual engine. So if I can get a bit more out the engine and put a new set of tyres on, like I think he's doing every race anyway, we'll have it for the GP. It's looking good for the MSA champs, like you say. So yeah, just keep on plumbing on. Yeah.
Great stuff. Well done, Paul Platt. It's your winner. Okay, so third place for Jack Layton, English champion, but a good fight there with Andy Bird.
Yeah, it was a good fight. Got a bit unfortunate on the last couple of laps, a little bit of a misfire developed, and yeah, he just got a run on me out of Coppice. But I thought the back markers might help me into the last corner, but as it happened, it blocked everyone. So yeah, I'm happy with third. It's an improvement on yesterday, and hopefully have some new tyres for the GP and give it a go. I mean, the boys have worked tirelessly all night. Hats off to the team and all of our supporters. They've done a cracking job to get me here, so hopefully we can keep it going.
And we're looking forward to a close race later on, Jack.
Yeah, and give it everything, won't I?
Okay, so Andy Bird second place, but a good scrap there with Jack Layton.
Yeah, it was a great start to the race, leading at the beginning, and then unfortunately got caught up with the twins. One of them spun in front of us, so I went from first to third in one fell swoop. So a bit unfortunate, but I had a great race with Jack. Unfortunately, had an issue on the last lap, which allowed me to pass him down the back straight, but back markers had a big part to play. I nearly had him a couple of laps before, but back marker unfortunately stopped that move. So happy with second, really happy. Good points for the championship. Unfortunately, Paul seems to be romping away at the moment with the.
So the teammate still gets the maximum points.
Teammates, yeah, get maximum points, and that's obviously great for the championship for both of us. But obviously we're all here to win, so. It's, but yeah, no, good, happy.
But no twins in the next one, so you can battle freely amongst the three of you then.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be a much closer scrap, and we can all fight for the GP plate.
So we'll see what the 125s can do. They provide some incredible times considering these little buzz boxes, what they can do out there. Back home where my home is in Northern Ireland, we have some just getting some news about Jordan Ford here, the winner yesterday. He pulled into the pits on the green flag lap, unfortunately on that one. This was just before I arrived, incidentally, with a broken ignition switch. Something as simple as that. Well, that's vibration that does things like that. And ignition switches come in various categories. We can have little plastic ones which are inclined to break, or you can get an old-fashioned heavy metal one that I actually was looking through a certain well-known motorsport catalogue there when I was coming over on the plane, and I noticed the sort of one that my father was a spark to trade that he would have used back in the 50s are still available. So Jordan, if you look at that catalogue, I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but they're in Wrexham in Wales, and they're still available. They're a crude looking thing, but I think they're fairly well breakable. I used to use them on my karts. But vibration does things like that. There was someone else yesterday with a broken wire, and we used to always put a little bit of araldite over the wires to stop them from breaking. And somebody said, "Oh, that'll make the wires breaking because it'll make it stiff at one end." But anything that the circuits, of course, now are being much smoother than they were many years gone by. These things shouldn't happen, but they still do.
So as the 1-5s come out of Melbourne Loop, lights off of the pace car. So we will be going for a start this time. The second championship race of this weekend, and on that front row is the one-kart reigning champion of Liam Morley, and the e-kart, the English champion of Lee Harpham, who dropped out that race yesterday. And lights on. Slow first gear rolling, very slow first gear rolling. Lights out, away we go. It is Morley that gets a jump. Kurt Cattermole got an absolute shocker and has got swamped by everybody. But it's Morley that leads them down to Redgate with Harpham and Chris Needham looking up the inside, but Harpham that slots into that second place. It looks like Matt Robinson up into third ahead of Chris Needham. But it's the one kart that has got the jump on everybody. So Liam Morley after that disappointing result yesterday, but as they stream down through Craner curves and into the old hair, and Lee Harpham goes up the inside, I think that was at the old hairpin to take the lead as they go up through the Schwantz curve. And yes, it is the e-kart with Morley side by side as they come into McLean's, but it's Harpham from Morley with Matt Robinson there tucked in there in third spot. 63 kart of Jones giving chase. Jones, one of our visitors from Ireland, and the 5 kart Kurt Cattermole trying to make up places after that poor start, but as they come down towards the Fogarty S's for this first time, and it's side by side, but it's Harpham, the e-kart, that holds that top spot, and again, similar to yesterday, there's a problem for Harpham as he comes out of the Fogarty S's, exactly the same as yesterday, so loses that lead and allows Morley to take over at the front from the 4 kart of Matt Robinson. It's Chris Needham and Moss, 31, well up there this time, chased by the 6 kart of Andrew Connor. So disaster again for the e-karts of Lee Harpham, but as they come out this time, it's Morley, it's Robinson, Needham, Moss, Andrew Connor, then it looks like it is Noel Brennan up into 6th spot ahead of Tim King, Ialada. Kurt Cattermole now up to 9th place from Anderson Chilcott, and Brian Jones there in 11th.
Noel Brennan, son of Johnny Brennan, up there in 6th position, and the 1-1-1 kart. Brian Jones has appeared today. I beat Brian out yesterday, actually. Brian from Scarva and County Down, and a very quick man at home races 250 as well on 2.5, and I don't know where he was yesterday. Maybe had just mechanical problems, but I didn't notice Brian yesterday at all.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, 11th place yesterday.
Oh, was he? I just missed him yesterday. Not bless me for that, mind you.
Similar position that he is in today, but yes, and Phil Rowland's 25 car off of that looks like the exit of the old hairpin. Not a good place to drag it out of the gravel track, and not an ideal place to leave that car. So I'm afraid that there's going to be yellow flag going down there, but and as they come out of the Melbourne Loop, and where has the one kart gone of Liam Morley? Has Liam Morley had a similar problem, because it is now the 4 kart again of Matt Robinson. Yesterday's winner takes the lead, and then it's battle for second place between Chris Needham and Sam Moss. Sam Moss closes up onto the back of the bumper of Chris as they go down towards Redgate, and no, Sam sits there on the tail of 35. Didn't get a chance to speak to Chris this morning, so I wonder if he's actually managed to get that quicker motor of his, the IAMI, back into that chassis, or whether he's still using the SGM yesterday. But disaster again for 2 of our front runners, Lee Harpham and again Liam Morley, the one kart disappearing on this lap. It was a problem, I think, with the electrics or the battery yesterday that seemed to blow a couple of fuses and other bits and bobs on the one kart, but they weren't 100% sure what the problem was. But disaster so for some jinx for Liam Morley has extended, but
he may not have resolved it then, but look at things. Electrical problems, usually you need to rip the whole system out.
So good scrap there between Tim King. Changed engines for this new engine this weekend, running a TN Motors previously, but lying there in 6th spot. But, Matt Robinson starting to stretch the lead at the front, and Andrew Connor, the 6th car, closing up onto the back of Sam Moss, and has a little look up the inside going into Melbourne Loop, and it's side by side on the exit, and then it's Kurt Cattermole that's now got up ahead of Tim King. 5 Kart is on a charge, and it's side by side with Tim King as they come into Goddard's for the first time, and disrespected Tim, but you don't want to be on the outside of Kirk, and it was chopping across on the exit, and it's Cattermole, it's King, it's Ian Larder, it's Noel Brennan, and Lee Harpham back out on circuit. Now Lee Harpham dropped back to what 9th place now, so are we going to see a drive through from Lee Harpham? Has he managed to resolve that problem from yesterday? Chris Needham sets the fastest lap of the race so far, 1:37.033. But Robinson has got that lead for just over half a second.
As I say, Brennan lost 3 positions on that last lap, whatever happened to Noel.
Well, he's in with that scrap. Yeah, it's the Cattermole, King, Larder and Noel Brennan on that scrap. But as we see Sam Moss with close attentions from the 6 carts of Andrew Connor as they go up towards the Coppice double right-hander.
Yes, Connor inherited 3rd position yesterday and was going very steadily and well in the sort of a lonely role in 3rd, but he's got company today.
That's right. So,
there's plenty of company back behind him, aren't you?
Side by side as they momentarily come down towards us, and it looks as if Chris Needham was close onto the back of Matt Robinson as they came through the lessons, and Sam Moss seems to have shaken off Andrew Connor momentarily, and it's Ian Larder, no, that's Lee Harpham has now gone up into head of Tim King, so Lee Harpham back on a charge, so whatever that misfire problem was earlier on has now got past 3 carts ahead of him. But it's Robinson from Chris Needham, the 4 kart from the 35, Sam Moss there in 3rd place ahead of Andrew Connor, then it's Kurt Cattermole, and it's always scrap, and Tim King lining up Harpham as they go down towards Redgate, and 94 on the inside line, but the experienced English champion Lee Harpham sweeps across and holds on to that 6th spot. And I'm just looking at the time, so Moss set a personal best that time, Matt Robinson set a personal best that time, but the quickest driver that time round was Chris Needham. So is he going to be able to close that gap onto the back of Matt Robinson as they go through the Schwantz curve and up towards McLean's, and it certainly visibly looks close this time. So Chris Needham, 35 kart, looking to get a victory in this one with still 7.5 minutes to go, but nose to tail as they come onto the exhibition strut.
Top 6 all day in 1:37. Guy on the 2nd fastest over that time was Cattermole, only fraction behind Chris Needham. So you know if they were all together, shall we say, at the front of the grid, a really colossal scrap. There is a great scrap between that group of 4. You typically 2-5 racing, but I don't think they'll make much more progress to
Lee Harpham managed to break away from that group right, so let's watch out for the
that is his chance, yeah.
And the 5 car, they've got a little bit of clear space in front of them, so we'll monitor the gap, but it's nice for the lead between
7 minutes almost to go. Yeah, he might stand a chance of getting 1 more position back, perhaps.
So
there's our leaders again. Needham is inching closer and closer every lap to Robinson. It's only 0.3 of a second.
Chris Needham sets another fastest lap of the race that time round, so a 36.589, just a 1/10 of a second quicker than Robinson's. Inch by inch,
that's how he's doing.
Coming up onto the back of that bumper of that Anderson car.
2.5 back to Moss, and then this group are battling still.
So it's half still ahead of Tim King and Ian Larder, and Noel Brennan sitting there nicely in 9th spot. Brian Jones there in 10th, and Sarah Budby well up there in 11th spot. Sarah Budby leading the 125 Cup at the moment. So good points for hard checking. In fact, Ian Larder is the leading Cup driver, 2 places ahead of her.
25 Cup, what is that?
That's for straight line ignition and no ram air boxes, so basically sort of trying to keep it as standard as possible. So there's that.
She's doing very, very well indeed. Yeah. So I have noticed her in the results recently.
So look at the screen for the 98 cars of Luke Clemson, so that's above his competitors in that car. the Melbourne Loop. Chris Needham just edging slightly closer, and Andrew Connor looked to move on Moss, and it's side by side on the exit, and Chris Needham is now closer to Matt Robinson. They come into Goddard, so this will be the completion of 6 laps with just about 5 minutes to go, and Needham is noticeably closer as they cross the line. You can tuck into that slipstream, and we're going to see a move from Chris Needham as they go down towards Redgate this time. Ducks out, up the inside, but not quite close enough. So Robinson hangs on to that lead, and Sam Moss just hangs on to that 3rd spot. Yes. But Moss and Connor being caught by Kirk Cattermole, who sets his personal best around, was a second quicker than the guys in front of him. So that gap to Kirk Cattermole is going to start shrinking fairly quickly, and Harpham nowhere out of the pictures, managed to break that break on the Tim King, Ian Larder, Noel Brennan scrap.
Yes, Robinson very much aware of Needham's presence there. He was right down the middle of the road, down the starting finish straight, and then Chris got up alongside him and into Redgate.
And Needham is into the lead, so as they go through Coppice this time, so Needham got a good run out of McCain's and has taken that lead from the forecart. So Chris Needham takes the lead as they come onto the exhibition straight, and it's nose to tail, and Matt Robinson pulls alongside as they come into the S's. Moments, and it is side by side through the S's, and still side by side on the exit, and side by side down towards Melbourne, and it's Needham that's got the inside line, and Needham hangs on to that lead from the forecart of Matt Robinson, and Cattermole now up ahead of Andrew Connor. So Sam Moss has got a little bit of a breathing space, but Andrew Connor being hassled by the 5 cart of Cattermole as they come on to complete 7 laps, and it's 35 Chris Needham that leads from Matt Robinson, with Sam Moss in 3rd and Andrew Connor. Kirk Cattermole being caught by Lee Harpham, the E-cart, then a gap before we've got Tim King, Ian Larder and Noel Brennan.
Robinson back in the lead again, Ryan Redgate, but Chris Needham coming back straight at him, Gary. So he disappeared from our side, down through the Craner.
Through Craners, and yes, Needham back ahead as they go down through Craner curves and head down towards the old hairpin, side by side. Robinson on the outside, but Needham cuts across and still holds that 1st spot as they go through the old hairpin and up towards the Schwantz curve. Through the Schwantz curve, and still Needham from Robinson. And Sam Moss still sitting there in that 3rd spot ahead of Andrew Connor. Driver that time around was 32, so he's a good driver on circuit.
36s, well, 4 36s have appeared now, so they're on quicker. Well, we'd expect that to get down to that, or 35 at some stage if the temperature rises today.
And Robinson looking for a move up the inside into Melbourne Loop this time, and the 4-cart get through onto the inside of 35, but Chris does the cut back on the exit and takes the lead as they come up towards Goddard's this time. So this scrap is still going on with 2 minutes to go on the clock.
Here we are once again on the starting finish. Nothing between them.
And this scrap for 3rd place is closing up nicely. We've got Sam Moss from Andrew Connor, and then Lee Harpham closing on for the 5-cart of
change the lead again, Gary.
And yes, Robinson gets that lead back through. He likes Redgate, doesn't he, John?
Yeah, they both do actually, but yeah, it's a good opportunity at the end of that straight.
But it's side by side as they go down through Craners, and
we can see them
still
on
side by side.
Robinson
on the outside, but sweeps across and holds onto that lead through the old hairpin. So Matt Robinson got his hands full keeping that 35 cart at bay. As further we see, I think that's Sarah Budby just ahead of the 23 cart of Clinton Bridge.
It seemed like those 2 guys at the head of the field. You know, there's plenty of room out there, and they're giving each other all the room is needed. It's very fair. It's very good to watch, and they're enjoying it just as much as we are. I'm sure they are.
Certainly are, as they come along the exhibition straight this time, and it's still the 4-cart of Matt Robinson from Chris Needham. Is going to be a move into the Fogarty S's. They're momentarily out of our sight, and yes, Needham does get the move into the S's, so retakes that lead.
So swapping it a bit. Let's see, big corners at the moment.
And Sam Moss got a problem dropping back, so that's drops him back out third place, but Needham got a good exit out of this time, and it's now Kurt Catamol up into third spot. So the 5-car after that horrendous start pegged them back and has come back up to third place as Lee Harper runs side by side with Andrew Connor into Goddard's, but it's Chris Needham that crosses the line to complete 9 laps, and the last lap ball I think should have got because we've got 15 seconds on the clock as Connor and Harper run side by side down towards Redgate, but the leaders through Redgate and down Craner curves, and it is still Needham that leads on this final lap.
But somehow or other he got 3-4 Clark lead this time. Had he a little bit in reserve, I wonder, or did Matt make a mistake? But Needham certainly had a much more healthy lead run Redgate this time. And you can watch from the old hairpin behind me.
No change there. Here. Yep, no change through the old hairpin and up through the Schwantz curve as we look at the lead. It's the 35 still of Chris Needham, but Matt Robinson right on his bumper, and there's nothing between them as they go through and up towards Coppice on this final lap.
Back with them then as they go up the hill, out onto the exhibition straight in a moment or two. It'll all down to the Essies really and Melbourne.
Look to see as they come onto the exhibition straight out of sight, and who's it going to be through that for the final time, and it is the 35, the dark cart of Needham, at 4 or 5 cart lengths from Matt Robinson. So I think he's got a big enough gap that Matt won't be able to make a lunge up the inside going into the hairpin. Perfect exit out of up to Goddard's for the final time. The checker flag being readied, but this looks like it's going to be a win for the 35 cart of Chris Corner. And checker flag goes out, both fists off for Chris Needham, thumps the steering wheel in delight. So that's the first win for Chris for a long time. Matt Robinson gets a great second place. Kurt Catamol after a bad start comes through to third. And Andrew Connor fourth ahead of Sam Moss. And I think Harper might have had a little bit of an issue on that last lap. Dropped back to 6th place. Noel Brendan just about creeps across the line for 9th place, but beaten by the 94 of Tim King and 21 Ian Larder. We look further back and it's Brian Jones gets across from Anderson Chilcott and Clint Bridge, with Sarah Budby bringing up the back of that group. So scrap there for 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th spot, but it's Chris Needham that gets the win, and a much needed over witnessing another 35 in his championship pursuit, and with Liam Morley not scoring again, and Kurt Catamol a good third of this championship is maybe starting to close up a little bit. He's still got rounds to go at Anglesey in September and Pembrey in October, but it's no means done and dusted. So I'm going to disappear the game downstairs, John.
Okay,
get a quick word and I'll leave you to see home the final finishes.
Yes, the 125 field are very substantial. The 125 field filtering their way home and providing some typical 125 coach competition, especially in that group, the 10, 11, 12, 13 group. Sarah Budby was one of the drivers following them home, who's Gary says leads the 125 Cup, and Sarah driving extremely well indeed. It was Noel Brennan from Hadley Kenny going over the line, looking down at the engine as he crossed the line as if to say, what have you done to me? It looked like it just about got him home and no more. In 9th position, nevertheless, Noel, behind Ian Lauder and King and Harper and Co. Chris Needham, I say, as Gary said, Chris Needham getting perhaps much needed win. I can remember Chris running in Division 1 a season or so ago, and electing now to go 125, obviously perhaps for the moment or whatever, getting a bit of success in Matt Robinson, who had a win yesterday, coming home in second. A great race between them. They were swapping positions at most corners on the way around the circuit, and somehow just a lap or so before the end, Chris got about 50 yards of the lead, and that was what he held to the line. The 125s coming filtering back in down the pit lane here. A very successful Sunday outing. We of course will be seeing them in the Grand Prix later in the day. It's all a build up towards these Grand Prix, and if anyone has anything in reserve, that's when it will appear. Waiting to hear from Gary with the drivers once the drivers get a breath and something to lubricate them, no doubt.
So Chris, a win at last for you in the championship. You must be really pleased with that one.
Oh, very pleased, especially after the weekend start. How we started the weekend, it was pretty diabolical. So we weren't expecting much from today, but we seem to have pulled it together and we had the pace then. So we'll see how we go in the GP. Hopefully get that number 3.
Great stuff, yeah. Looking forward to Grand Prix. Your dad's won it several times. You won it in the previous years, but nice to get that back on your kart later on.
Oh, that's it. The championship's pretty much done already, so the only things left are the UK Cup and the GP, so we want one of those.
Okay, so second place for Matt Robinson. So you inherited the lead when Liam Morley dropped out, but Chris came back at you in the closing stages.
Yeah, so got away well and was trying to peg down Liam, and yeah, he had the pace in the early few laps, and then he went off and inherited the lead. Tried to break away from the pack, and Chris just had more pace. Simple as that, and couldn't break away. Chris caught me and had a good few laps battle near the end. Some good close racing, and yeah, could have been nice to take the double, but settled for a P2 on this one, and yeah, a few little problems near the end, so just trying to sort them out and go for the GP later on today.
Okay, so a bad start for Kurt Cattermole, but worked his way through to finishing 3rd spot.
Yeah, where did I drop down to?
I think it was about 9th place at one time, Kirk, so a lot of work to do.
Yeah, I got engines running too rich and just need to jet it down for the next race and out at gear, and hopefully we could go again and whip some ass.
The last corner here, but unfortunately it went past and I just pulled it and game over. But it's a shame, it would have been great. Yes, it was a good first half of the day. It's a shame, but do you think you'll be able to get it out for the next race? Yeah, fingers crossed we'll be out there and we'll do it all again this time, we'll reverse the order. Great, great to speak to you, thank you very much. And we've got our winner, Martin Burhall. Well done, Martin, and very particularly Thursday as well. And they come out of Goddard, and it's Martin Wills just ahead of Steve McDermott. So people are rounding out the Class Z, the race spec MGZ. It was lining up to be a real ding-dong for Martin, and I was just lining him up for past the last corner here. But, what is it for? You look forward to it. Yes, we have our Jim Bainham here. Jim Bainham of Class A, Classic Class winning. Jim, it was a bit of a dominant win, really, wasn't it? So you want me to... I have to say that I didn't consciously back off the whole 20 minutes when I was... So, you know, it's easy to outbreak yourself, and it's just one of those corners where you've got to keep the speed going. The extra speed is far more important than the speed. So, no, we love it here. Donington always enjoys to come here, and I think
So on pole position we have the one kart, the reigning champion and the winner of the first race of the day. That's the German, that's Peter Elkman. And alongside him is the 12 kart of Andreas Jost. And Andreas obviously looking to improve on that third place that he got earlier on. Row 2 is the 2 kart of Adam Coate and Liam Morley. Unfortunately Liam, it was a sheared water pump that put him out of the action after 6 laps this morning, but Liam back out there on the second row of the grid. Third row is the 5 kart of Yannick de Brabander. Made a move up the inside of Redgate, didn't come off, but he's back out there and fighting, as is Daniel Clark. Had a big end failure in that earlier race, so tentative for the 4 kart, but let's hope he can keep it all together. Row 4 is Marsman and Jason Dredge, then Leo Kirstens and Carl Kinsey. Row 6, Jürgen Renke and David Harvey. And I don't think I'm going to get a chance to finish the grid because they are coming up to Goddard's. Lights are out on the pace car, so we will be going for a start this time. And it is another 13-lap race, 50 kilometres. Pace car dives into pit lane, and it is the 1 and the 12 on that front row, nicely closely bunched grid. Just wait for the lights. Lights out, away we go, and it's Morley and Clark were side by side, but it's still side by side, Elkman and Andreas Jost as they go down to Redgate, and it looks very crowded down there. And I think Peter Elkman just about got the inside, and somehow they've all managed to get through, but that looked very, very crowded down there, John.
It certainly did, Gary, and Daniel Clark made a lunge for the start, then had to plunge on the brakes almost as they came to the line. He almost jumped the start, but they were very tight
as they go through the old hairpin, and it is the 1 kart that takes lead. Someone around a bit wide on the exit there, can't quite pick up who that is, but it's the 1 kart from the 2 of Adam Coate. Then it's the Brabander, it's Liam Morley, then it's Daniel Clark. So it's the 1, 2, 3, 4 from the championship that hold the first 4 positions,
as we would expect,
as we see.
Indeed, yeah. Elkman back out in front once again from Coate.
Andreas Jost tucked in there behind the 4 kart of Daniel Clark, but your top 4 from the championship last year holding those top 4 positions. And is anybody going to be able to do anything about the phenomenal pace of Peter Elkman? And Adam Coate is staying with him at the moment, and Liam Morley under pressure. That is from Yannick de Brabander to the 5 kart.
De Brabander was the winner here last year, and he's very much in the picture this weekend as well. Elkman has had a sort of an up and down weekend, but when it's needed, the results have been coming for him.
So out of Goddard's for the first time.
Out in front once again.
So it's Elkman, it's Coate, it's Morley, then it's de Brabander, then it's Andreas Jost. Daniel Clark dropped back a few places. Then it's the 19 kart of Jason Dredge ahead of Leo Kirstens and Jamie Zuleta. There in 9th place, then Marcel Masman in 10th, and where's Carl Hume looking back down? So Tom Rushford 13th, and Carl 14th, and Dave Harvey got shuffled back there, so Dave back down in 17th place. So as they dive down Craner Curves, and then looking at that scrap with Ryan Vahar and Tom Rushford, the 41 kart. So Tom unfortunately put it in the kitty litter on the exit of Fogatiesis in that earlier race, but change of position there as that's Marsman putting a pass on Zuleta and up through into the Coppice complex. As we look for the leaders coming towards us along the exhibition straight and through Fogatiesis, and Adam Coate is hanging on to the coattails of Peter Elkman. Those two have pulled away from the Brabander and Yost, and the arm goes in the air for Liam Morley on the way down to the Melbourne Loop. So that doesn't look good for the 3 karts. Slowly through the corner, and yes, he's pulling out wide, so that's game over for the British Challenge from Liam Morley.
Great shame. Liam's had an up and down weekend, and mostly down, sadly. Elkman starting to stretch that lead. It was 4/5 of a second at the end of the last lap, but he's what was that lap time? 1:27.314. It's coming down a bit. Still way off his lap record, but the conditions have not allowed him down to that this weekend, which has disappointed him a bit. The Brabander up into 3rd now, but Morley disappearing sadly, and Yost in 4th, then Donington Park and Jason Dredge has moved up one obviously as well. Jason on in 6th ahead of Kirstens.
Yes, and I think Jason had a problem in the early race. I think a water hose came off, so that was Jason's problem, but it's good to see him up there in 6 spots. And looking further back, Tom Rush was lost a bit of ground and dropped back to 17th place behind Ingvar Berger, but yes, it's Elkman set the fastest lap of the race so far. And Carl Hume, you see on screen going through
progress, yes.
claims
Up to 11th now.
Ahead of Reinke, so Carl Hume trying to 11th place at the moment, so got a good 5th place earlier on, but it's still Elkman and Coates, and there's not much in the way of extending his lead. I think it's got out to about 7 or 8 kart lengths, but it's being held there now, so we'll see if new tyres, different gearing, whether these guys have made a sort of bit of a change for this second race, and Yost coming under pressure from the Brabander, so
there's Elkman through the start of the finish once again, and the gap, yeah, I'd say it's just about the same, isn't it? No, it's slightly more, 1.1.
1.1 seconds.
Over a second this time. It was 4/5 of a second the last time. Yost through in 3rd, 2.4 seconds back then. Brabander, down Clark. Jason Dredge now confirmed in 6th ahead of Kirstens, and Marcel Massman, and Zuletta and Hume completing the top 10 ahead of Rika and Faisal Lettman in 12th.
And you see Mark Bahar, David Harvey, Ingvar Berger, and Tom Rushforth down in 16th spot. But yeah, Elkman another fastest lap that time round, so 1:27.0, just a couple of tenths quicker from Adam Coates, but they both set their personal bests of the race so far, so very much nip and tuck in this race. But can Adam Coates hang on to the back of that 1 kart and make a challenge? So we've got 3 laps under the board so far and 10 to go.
Watching for Paul Peterson, and I just saw the old yellow part of Paul Peterson going through there a few minutes ago, running in 18th position, kart number 25, the Great Dane.
Yes, a previous Grand Prix winner at the Silverstone circuit back in 85 and 88, and in fact I think also then won a game when the Grand Prix moved to Pembrey in I think 2000 or 2001. So
yeah, I noticed that yesterday. I didn't realise he'd actually won it 3 times, and I was looking through the excellent programme for this weekend, and there's Paul's name kept popping up.
So Elkman crosses the line to complete 4 laps, and that's another personal best. Well, Coates now, he's set another PB, 27.1, but just a fraction slower than Peter Elkman, so it's 1.1 seconds, but Adam Coates still improving his times, but Peter Elkman is just tantalisingly just over a second ahead of him, as
he's so steady, you know, and he just well, he hasn't got mirrors in the cart, but it's almost as if he realises what that gap is, and he can just hold it there. That's indeed what he's doing. I haven't seen him do this for years.
But through McLean's and up towards Coppice, and I think Adam Coates could be caught really a little bit. The 2 kart certainly looks a lot closer to that 1 kart as they come onto the exhibition straight. So I think the eyes open for as they appear through to Fogarty S's, but Jason Dredge now, as Jason dropped back, there's that in dicey with Marsman, you can't see as they went out for camera shot, but down to Melbourne, and I'd say that the 2 kart is closing up a little bit more on Peter Elkman as they come up towards Goddard's this time. Yost still safe there in 3rd spot, clear of the Brabander, and then Dan Clark still sitting there in 5th place. But yes, as they come out
closer,
and it is looking closer. Yes,
this time, Gary. Yeah. What does the clock tell us? Yeah, he's come down to 4/5 of a second once again, which it was a few laps ago.
Under a second, yes, and Peter Elkman at 27.5 and Adam Coates at 27.1. So Yes, battle is on, and Dan Clark looking down at the engine, and but it's still under power, so he crosses the line still in 5th place.
Where's Dredge got to?
I saw Jason going slowly round the back, and yes, and he's into pit lane, so Jason Dredge, another retirement for him. Just picked it up that around the back of the circuit as Ingvar Berger and Tom Rushworth having a good little scrap there for 15th spot. Down through Craner Curves, we see the battle for Kirstens, Hume and Zoletta. Hume in 8th kart. Had a quick chat with him earlier on, and he said he'd like to finish in the top 10 in the championship. And a hand in the air for, is that Daniel Clark going slowly round through the Schwantz area. So have we got a problem for the Farwell karts? So you look down at the motors who came across the start and finish line. So is that a problem for Daniel Clark?
Rather lucky, doesn't it, unfortunately, Johnny?
Yes, because he hasn't come through the fog of Jesse, so I think that's another DNF for Daniel Clark, but up at the front. And there's contact there as they come into the S's between Hume and I think that was Leo Kirstens, but as they cross the line this time, and what's the gap? It is now 7/10 of a second, so Adam Coate 2/10 quicker that time round. Andras Jost still there in that 3rd spot from Brabander in 4th, and then who are we going to see coming up into 5th place? And I think it could be the 7th part of Marcel Masman. Yes, here he comes. So a regular competitor in the European Championships for many years, and
indeed he is. He's getting a reward for it today.
Carl Hume having a good scrap with Zoletta, and where has Leo Kirsten's gone? As the 20 kart of Mark Verhaar hand in the air, so that's his race over as well. So Mark Verhaar drops out of that little scrap there for 7th spots as Tom Rushworth goes for a move down into Redgate, but not quite close enough on Ingvar Berger.
A lot of eliminations in this one, Gary. The pace getting hot out there, you reckon?
Oh, it's thank God we've got air conditioning here, John. With the amount of running around I've done today.
Sometimes it's like a gale in here, never mind air conditioning.
So as the leaders come up onto the back of a slower kart, that's Moshes are down, but they're safely through before they get to the Melbourne loop. But Adam Coates has got that gap down to under a second. So does Peter Elkman have a slight problem, or is he just managing the pace with tyres? This will be the completion of 7 laps, so we're just over half distance. And it's half a second this time, yes, so Adam Coates taking another 2/10 out of the leader that time round, so he's not going to let this one go without a fight.
Yeah, it's fascinating at the moment, but he's inching closer and closer. Obviously he can see that. Elkman can't see it, but I'm sure he's aware of it. There's something about karts that you are aware when a kart is getting close to you. You can hear a different engine note or whatever. Jost is far back in 3rd, then to Bander, Masman, and Carl Hume probably will be very delighted with that 6th place he's got at the moment.
Yes, that will match his 5th place from earlier on, so not wishing to put commentators' curse on, but it looks like Carl's up for 2 good results, as Tom Rushworth has got ahead of Ingvar Berger, so Tom Rushworth up to 12th place. Going through the curves, and that looks like that's Dave Harvey in the middle of that one, so that must be the Vasalat and the Harvey Rainker battle there for 9th spot.
Yes, that was Clark, so Verhaar was the last one through there.
Yes, well, Mark Verhaar had his arm in the air, so I think we're probably down to about 15 karts, and in fact in the European Championship the points go down to 15th place.
And that will be Paul Peterson at the moment. And that's our leaders once again. I think Elkman has
increased the lead, yes.
Out a wee bit.
Yes, indeed, so it's back up to 9/10 of a second.
Was I said that little something in the brain, he realised that Coate was maybe getting closer and he just had that little bit more, or was Coate slower that time? I'm not quite sure.
Alan Coate 27.4, but has he possibly pushed the tyres too much in a bid to sort of keep that one car in sight? As so look at that gap between, so Carl Hume's now lapping quicker than Marcel Masman in front of him, so that gap at the moment 2 seconds, but Carl Hume 0.3 of a second quicker that time around, so that battle for 5th place could close up between the 7 and the 8 kart, so with 5 laps still to go.
those times where you should be perfect out there. And this sort of guy should be. This is not too hot. A little bit of a breeze.
Well, it's hardly any breeze at all. Looking at the flags, it's not the breeze that we had the last couple of days.
Yeah, it's gone today, this afternoon.
So the leaders
flags are limp.
Down to the Melbourne Loop, and the next part on track for them will be the 25 part Pal Petterson that they'll be coming up to lap, possibly as they get down towards Redgate. But into Goddard and it's still
PDP.
It's Elkman and it's still Adam Coate there, and I think that gap has stabilised. Yeah, it's still 9/10 of a second, so Peter Elkman just a fraction quicker that time round, but
never imagined when I raced against Paul Peterson in the early 70s at Morecambe and places like that I would see him lap, but it looks like Peter Elkman will be doing it shortly. But it's great to see Paul Peterson still out there.
Yeah, and Peter Elkman onto the back of the 25 car as they go through and exit the old hairpin and up through Schwantz Curve, and Pal Petterson moves politely out of the way as Adam Coate comes past round the outside. Doesn't get too held up, so both the 1 and 2 karts pass the 25 kart of Pal Petterson.
I'm sure Paul, being the gentleman he is, pulled well out of the way and literally waved them through.
Tom Rushforth has crossed the line in 12th, so I can't see where Ingvar Berger is, because he was having a close dice with Tom Rushforth. So have we lost the 93 kart, the Swede Ingvar Berger? Yes, we have, because here comes Kai Cruz.
Cruz Cruz will come up to 13th and behind Rushforth.
And that means that that's
Peterson behind 14th.
14th, yes. So but points go down to 15th. So we're then going to be looking at someone that's a non-finisher. So I think even though Ingvar Berger is a non-finisher, he could still end up with 1 point.
Elkman through once again, Coate in second, the gap.
And the 8 kart and Carl Hume is out of the race. Just caught a glimpse on the monitor. So the 8 kart of Carl Hume parked up at the side of the circuit, couldn't quite work out where it was, but
Dave Harvey, top UK driver then. Unfortunate for Carl, he'll be disappointed with that one. He's been having a great weekend. The messages before the event, he wasn't feeling that confident, but he was just being a bit coy, I think.
So yeah, Marsman moves up to 5th place. Yeah. Next through is now going to be the 9 kart of James Valletta, yes, and then we've got Leo Kirstens, and then it's Dave Harvey and 26 kart of Jürgen Reinke. So Dave Harvey now up into 8th spot, and as you say, the leading British driver, in fact probably, and Tom Rushforth. So 2 of the British drivers still out there, so Tom now up to 11th spot. Leaders down towards Melbourne. And hardly anything. They're almost identical lap times that last time round, weren't they, John? And still 9/10 of a second.
In the 130s. And still no one has got down near, including Peter Elkman himself, his 125 lap record the whole weekend. And as you said yesterday, that did surprise him, but there he is once again. Now with the wind having dropped and whatever, but still lapping 127.1. Well, that's approaching his best of the weekend, but it's enough because he's got the lead up to 1.3 seconds ahead of Adam Coate in second. Jost is still holding third, Ender Bander, Maspin and Zuleta. And that's our top 6. Persons, and then Dave Harvey, top UK driver in 8th position.
So Peter Elkman opened up about 4/10 on that lap as we see him go through the Cranes corner, and Coate's not giving up, and it looks closer than on the TV than it does actually when they seem to appear back through us. So whether Adam Coate is better through that section, through Craner curves and up through to Schwantz curve, and then Peter gets the better run through the slower corners, the Fogarty S's, and then the Melbourne.
Yeah, he seems to.
26, so that's Jürgen Reinke has pulled off, and that is on the exit of the Melbourne Loop. So the 26 kart out of the race, so that was an 11th spot that he was holding at the time. So this really is become a battle of attrition. But these guys, because they were effectively holding positions in the top 15, are still going to be scoring points as Peter Elkman completes 12 laps. So this is the last and final throw of the dice. Can Adam Coates close it down? No, it's up to 2.1 seconds. Peter Elkman still doing 27.1s, but Adam Coates 27.9 that time round. So
Peter was doing that time as well through the start of the finish, whether his neck was stiff or whatever, but he was flexing his head or whatever. I don't think he was trying to turn around and look behind him. It would be impossible, but he just was feeling the neck a little bit in the closing stages of this one. I hope it's not a problem for him. So his lead is 2.1 seconds now, so
through the claims
he rested a little bit.
Of Peter Elkman and Adam Coates still giving chase as they come onto the back, and I think that's Kai Cruz. They're coming up to lap along the exhibition straight. Peter Elkman goes for the move as they come up towards the Fogarty S's, puts the kart between him and his pursuer Adam Coates through the Fogarty S's safely down to the Melbourne Loop. And yes, Adam Coates is a lot further back this time, so there's going to be no chance of a last minute challenge as Tom Rushforth comes up to, was he in full power? Yes, being fought by Peter Elkman, so Tom Rushforth will come out of Goddard's to start his last lap as Peter Elkman comes out and takes the checker flag and gets win number 2. Adam Coates, good challenge there, but it was 2.9 seconds at the flag as we wait for the 12 kart of Andrew Jost to appear. And here he comes. Yep. So it's the same 1, 2, 3 that we had this morning. So I'm going to rush off to the podium, John, and I'll leave you to bring the rest of them home.
Yep, indeed. Another great win for Peter Elkman, and he'd be well pleased with that. He wasn't too happy with things, but he's got a double here this weekend, and he keeps on doing it. Anytime I come to Grand Prix, Peter's, as I said to him during the week, Peter's up there at the front of the field and challenged him very well at one stage, was inching closer to him, but Elkman just had that little bit in reserve once again. Jost coming home with third, then Debrabander, who won here last year, Marcel Massman, who is any of the years I've been to Grand Prix, Marcel's always been about a great supporter of it. Kirsten's behind him in 6th, then Zephyr and Dave Harvey, a greater supporter of Grand Prix, and Dave Harvey, the top UK competitor, coming home at 8th. They had a Vesta Letterman and Tom Rushforth, and we all know the Rushforth connection with these events. And Cruiser, and delighted to see it, Paul Peterson coming home in 12th, so picking up a few more points. Headed for the French representative Marchesi this weekend, Marcel Marchesi in 13th, and I think our final finisher there. So some of those non-finishers were picking up points like Danny Chan and Jürgen Ranke, I think, and perhaps even Carl Hume as well, but that is totally unofficial from me. But my congratulations to Peter Elkman. Waiting to hear Gary gets hold of him down there in a moment or two. We will be taking a break from karting. We will have the cars back, the Clubman Sports prototypes, the Malaks just before the lunch break, and then the British Superkart Grand Prix are all this afternoon. So waiting to hear from Gary down in the pit lane once he gets hold of our double winners this afternoon, or this morning and this afternoon, because they were out before I arrived at the circuit this morning. And I've had a long day yesterday. I had a bit of a lie-in this morning and left Gary to it this morning. Not intentionally, mind you. But Peter Elkman picking up a double here this weekend, and he'll be well pleased with his visit to Donington Park. Last time I saw him winning was at Cadwell's. I think I remember winning the Grand Prix there on a couple of, not the Grand Prix, the European event there on a couple of occasions. sad in a way in the European Championship runs that they don't actually contest the Grand Prix these years as well in the way we used to when it was a totally open event. But nevertheless, the European Championship is an excellent event, and it's something we needed in karting and we didn't have for many years, and it may struggle a little bit in numbers these days, but it is certainly worth supporting, and the drivers who go out and are very familiar faces over the years, and I just hope that there are more and more go into that championship to bolster it up over the years. Well, I can think back to the days when the Grand Prix had 60, 70 karts on the grids, and that's really what I want to see again. And there has been a bit of a revival once again in the last couple of years, and let's hope it continues.
Okay, so we've got the drivers for this second CIK race ready to receive the trophies, and in third place the 12 kart Andres Yost. Second place Adam Coates, and the winner again, the reigning champion, the one kart, Peter Elfman. Okay, and to present the trophies, we've got Marika Malink, so the third place trophy for Andres Yost, and the garland.
Kisses or without?
Yeah, with kisses.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you.
And the second place trophy also to be presented by Marika. Marika and Tom do a very good job to make sure the Assen event takes place. And the winner's trophy to be presented by Hanif Galani of Leica. Hanif, an ex-Division 1 driver himself. Okay, so we will have the German national anthem. Okay, Peter, so 2 starts, 2 wins, 25 points, 50 points maximum. Roll on Assen for you.
Yeah, it was great. Simply great. Pole position, 2 fastest laps, I think. I don't know from the second race, but I think so. And maximum results. So there was nothing more to get this weekend. So we were very happy. Congrats to the team. Congrats to the Max. And yeah, see what we can do at Assen, at Le Mans. But we're on a good way, and we're motivated, we're focused, and we will go for it.
Excellent. Look forward to seeing you at Assen.
Thanks a lot.
Well done. So it's another second place for Adam Coate. You pushed him hard in that one, but not quite close enough at the end.
Yeah, the gap was too big to overtake or to try to overtake. But I'm happy with this race because the gap was closer, and I'm really happy with the first corner after the start because start was not so good. I was maybe 6th, and then I chose the outside line, and after the first corner I was 2nd, so I was laughing a lot. So good weekend for us. We have 40 points. It's great, great opportunity for Assen.
Excellent, well done, and I look forward to seeing you at Assen.
Thank you.
So Andres, a slightly busy start to that race. but another third place for you.
Yeah, I mean, as said, the start was not perfect, but still I managed to came back to P3. So going home with 2 podiums on the first race weekend. It's quite an improvement to the last couple of years where we almost went home from Donington with 0 points. So we had quite some trouble with engines over the time here. I also screwed my good engine yesterday morning. So therefore I had to hop to the spare one, which is not delivering as much as the other one. So still happy with P3, and I think the outlook for us and then Le Mans should be quite good to compete against those two a bit more.
And have you got a meeting between now and Assen, or is Assen your next round?
No, there is one actually in, I think it's 2 weeks or 3 weeks in France, quite close to my home in Arnaud-de-Rhin. Yeah, so
you'll be looking for a home victory then?
Yeah, definitely. It's needed again.
Well done, that's Andreas Jost, 3rd place.
Markedly different from
Goddard to take the start. So it is Elkman and Jost on the front row. Then it's Morley, and alongside, I think there's a bit of a shuffle because I can see Carl Hume up on the second row. So I'm just trying to work out who is missing. And is the bander there? I can't see the bander. So lights on. And lights out, and it's Andreas Jost that just gets the shade, but Elkman's got the inside line.
Got the inside
as
and
they go down,
to it as he goes into.
Just moves across, takes that prime slot into Redgate from Andreas
And
Jost.
look at that gap already Gary got as he got out of Redgate.
And it looks like Liam Morley slotted into 3rd spot as they stream down Craner Curves for the first time. And we pick them up, and it is, yes, Morley in 3rd place ahead of the 8 kart of Carl Hume. Jason Dredge making a move and moving up into 5th spot there. The 19 kart not had a particularly good day as Jason, but it's the 1 kart of Peter Elkman already a couple of lengths clear of his closest rival so far this weekend. The 2 kart of Adam Coate and 41 Tom Rushford well up there in this race as well. Tom in about, I think, certainly in the top 6 I can see.
The good news.
As they stream onto the exhibition straight, and it is the 1 kart of Peter Elkman.
Also, gear he had out of Redgate, or what grip he got, he just suddenly he was going away from them immediately.
And Morley up into 2nd place, so that's demoted Adam Coate. Is Adam coat has gone missing. Just trying to see the dark cart. But so yes, Liam Morley up into second place. So as they head up towards Goddard's. First time. Yes, I think the 2-cart has gone missing. So Adam Coates.
That's certainly Oakman with quite a substantial.
And Morley, hand in the air. Morley into pit lane at the end of his open lap. So disaster again for the Anderson Racing team as Liam Morley brings the kart into pit lane. So is it again an overheating problem? Which obviously, if the temperature's going through the roof, even after one lap, he's not going to risk racing out there for another 13 minutes. So disaster for the 3-cart Liam Morley.
Well, it's a great group of UK drivers up behind. Yoss was second now, then Hume, Dredge, Harvey, Kinsey, Rushforth all together there. And there's an Ulsterman in 10th called Minari.
So did Adam, perhaps I was getting confused with Adam Coates and Andrus Yost, because yes, it's Andrus Yost that's there in third place.
It is indeed,
but I'm sure that when they were going around on the warming up lap, I picked up that it was Adam Coates, but perhaps he didn't go out on this one. So
it doesn't look like it,
that's leading the way at the moment. Very dived out that second place into pit lane as they come through, and we're following the Liam Fox, the number 2 kart. So Liam, let's see, up into 11th place at that end of the open lap. Having started, well, potentially 20th, but trying to work out who were non-starters. So Liam Fox up in there in 11th spot ahead of Kai Cruz. Up front it is the familiar figure of Peter Elkman, 2 wins already today. Andrus Yost there in second place, so he's picked up a couple of third spots in the European. Then we've got this scrap for third place between Carl Hume and Jason Dredge. So Carl Hume, the leading in the Division 1 British Championship, ahead of the 19 kart of Jason Dredge. Then we see Dave Harvey 14 across the line from Carl Kinsey, then Ingvar Berger, then Liam Fox, and the 83 kart of Colin Menery, and I think we've lost young Tom Rushforth again. Yes, Tom into pit lane, I think.
Disappearing down the computer screen, unfortunately.
And the hand goes in the air for Jean-Marc Bouchesi as he comes out the final corner, but keeps the thing running. So early retirements for Liam Morley and Tom Rushforth, but Peter Elkman, quickest lap so far, 1:28.087. That's Carl Hume being chased by Jason Dredge.
Slower than what Elkman was doing earlier in the day, but certainly enough at the moment to give him quite a considerable lead in this one over Yost. Hume and Dredge are battling out third. Ahead of Harvey, Kinsey, Berger and Fox.
So trying to pick out the guys that are going to be scoring points. So Carl Hume is going to be scoring points. Jason Dredge not registered for the championship. Then be Dave Harvey and Carl Kinsey. So in the British Championship, those are the 3 in that top 6 position that are scoring points. But more importantly, can they get closer to the front of the challenge for that GP plate, or is it going to go back to Germany with Peter Elkman for the 2nd year running as he comes out of Goddard's and crosses the line to complete 3 laps? And the advantage over Andrus Yost is 2.6 seconds. Similar lap times, 1:28.4 for Elkman, 1:28.5 for Yost.
Human Dredge and battle for third, but and do little about our leading 1 and 2 or disappearing already down through the trainers once again.
And Tom Rushforth is out there, so I think there was a problem on the earlier lap.
Running in 11th now behind Cruiser.
And there goes the 70 kart of Vic Henschel, so Vic flying there in 13th spot. And Tom Rushforth is off. Can't quite work out where it is, but the 41 kart off into the gravel trap. Tom steps out of the kart, no real damage to the kart or driver, but a long way, and it's at Redgate, so it's on the outside of Redgate. Yes, I can turn around and now see the dust disappearing and the yellow flag. So whether that was a braking issue or not, because Tom's gone a long way into that gravel trap, but steps out of the kart in disgust, throws down the gloves, typical driver impetuity. But
we all have our little tantrums.
We will have our little tantrums, don't we? Faster, faster. More speed is the common quote from drivers. Even Peter Elkman, who sets pole position, is not happy. With him, thinks that he's nowhere near his lap record pace, but he's crossing the line now, 4 laps under the belt, and 1:28.1. So certainly a lot slower than 2 CRK races. But
3 seconds clear of Yost, and he can relax out there at the moment and
Jason Dredge looking to reel in.
Just hope it stays on tune
as they go down to Redgate. It's about 3 lengths difference between Hugh and Jason Dredge. Further back down the order, Carl Kinsey there in 6th spot, 16 kart ahead of 93 Ingvar Berger, and then one of your local drivers, John, that's Liam Fox, just ahead of Colin Menery.
Yeah, Foxy and Colin together. Spend a lot of time like that up at Nuts Corner, they would. I don't know what happened to Stuart Pulley. Did Stuart maybe not start at this one?
I didn't see him going round on the warming up lap.
I didn't notice the blue outfit.
See that he's on the other screen. I think actually we've only had what 18 starters, because Liam Morley shows down obviously as the first retirement, shall we say, and we've only got 18 drivers on the screen. So out of the anticipated 30 that were on the grid, some of our foreign drivers have got ferries to catch, so I understand that obviously their priority this weekend is the CIK races, but good to see Peter Elkman out there. The one kart crosses the line to complete 5 laps. This is a timed race this time, so a 15-minute race, so we're just about halfway through, 7.5 minutes left on the clock. So 5 laps done, and another fastest lap for Peter Elkman, a 1:28.046, and that gap to Andrus Jost is 3.8 seconds. Carl Hume still holding off just 19 karts of Jason Dredge. So go down through the curves.
Dave Harvey in an excellent 5th, they're ahead of Carl Kinsey. And Berger 7th, and Fox and Minari 8th and 9th.
Yeah, I spoke to Carl Hume as we see him go through the old hairpin and up through Schwantz Curve, but spoke to him earlier on, and he was trying to find a bit more time through the old hairpin, and managed to find 1.3 seconds advantage in that previous race, but then messed it up by clipping the curb halfway through the race, and that was his problem. So he's got his hands full keeping that 19 kart at bay as they come onto the exhibition straight. It's the battle for 3rd place.
This was in Hempsel and Danny Chan swapping positions going down into Redgate. That'll be worth hearing about later on.
I think it certainly will, because they do share a similar garage, and Jason Dredge got a good run out of Fogarty's, tries to get alongside Carl Hume. Carl Hume defends the inside line, so Jason Dredge goes round the outside into the Melbourne loop. So Carl defended the inside, and over his left shoulder came the 19 kart of Jason Dredge to take that 3rd spot.
So that's an adopted Ulsterman up into 3rd. You're saying he's not registered for the British Championship. I know why, because he's doing the Northern Ireland Championship.
Okay. Oh, now did Jason miss a gear coming? I thought there was a little bit slow on that gear change, and
yeah, I think so.
I think he
Car
didn't
is
quite
back
get
through.
It certainly is into Redgate. So that little scrap for 3rd place with 5.5 minutes to go. That's going to run all the way. But Elkman now 4.8 seconds ahead of Andrus Jost. Took another second out of him that time round, but it's this scrap for 3rd place that's keeping us amused at the moment, as Colin Menery has got Kai Cruz on his tail, and Jason Dredge pulls off, so the 19 kart is out. So is that down past the, yes, on the outside of the Schwantz Curve. Another problem for Jason, pulls off, gets out of the kart. Driver okay, but that releases Carl Hume to secure that 3rd spot. So has Jason had another overheating problem? Climbs over the barrier, that's his day's work done.
Sadly, we've had a lot of stoppers in the races here today, especially in this category. There's Elkman through once again, and he just keeps reeling off these laps today. We may have had trouble build up to this day, but today has been, well, I shouldn't say it should have, but it's really been trouble free for him so far, and I don't wish him any ill out there.
So 5.5 seconds is that gap now back to Andrus Jost, and
Hume through once again, Gary in 3rd, very much on his own now.
Yes, he's 13 seconds behind Andrus Jost, and now it's Dave Harvey, I think, that goes up to that 4th spot, but he's only got a 1 second gap over the 16 kart of Carl Kinsey. So Hume, Harvey and Kinsey are all racing for points in this, so that's crucial for their championship position.
Where's Colin Minari? He should be next up with a very similar
Well, Kai Cruz, he's nice with Kai Cruz.
Oh,
Kai Cruz has got ahead. So, yes, Colin Minari is there in 9th place.
Korskin almost Peter Outman style for Colin Minari.
Looking further back, you can see Vic Hempshaw chasing Danny Chan. Danny Chan coming out to complete 7 laps. As is Vic Hempshaw, the 70 kart.
No,
the gentleman drivers of the Division 1 category, I think they like to be known. So Vic been doing the Division 1 championship for many years.
Hundreds of years.
But here comes Peter Elkman to complete 8 laps with just over 3 minutes left on the clock. Andreas Jost comes up onto the back of the 69 kart for Daniel Thompson. Gap now 6.1 seconds. So Peter Elkman just lapping in the 128s, which compared with 27s that he's been doing earlier on. But
him through once again.
Dave Harvey said his quickest lap last time around. So let's see if he's gapped Carl Kinsey and 31.6. So he's just opened up that gap to 1.7 seconds and. See the stranded cart for Tom Rushford in the red gate. It's Peter Elkman that comes back down the exhibition straight towards the Fogarty S's and missed the 9th lap. 6-second lead over Andreas Jost. Down into the Melbourne Loop as Jost comes out of the Fogarty S's. Still clear track in front of these guys. The next kart they're going to come across may be the 70 kart of Vic Hempshaw. Yes, so Vic comes out to complete 8 laps as Peter Elkman appears to complete his 9th lap. So 1 minute 44 on the clock. So with him doing 1 minute 28, I think we've got a couple of laps to go.
Yeah. I'm sure he was hoping he would see the last lap board that time, but he's not going to. Not unless he slows up a little.
Well, having done
a good chance there.
Having done 2 13-lap races, and now this potentially is going to be an 11-lap race, he's certainly got some mileage out of the chassis, the engine, even himself. But Peter Elkman, a very experienced driver, raced Formula 3. If you look at his CV online, do a search, and you'll see that he raced against Formula 3 against a certain Sebastian Vettel and beat him at Brands Hatch. So races at LMP3 on the odd occasion. So Peter Elkman, a very experienced driver.
Foxy through once again on 7th.
And that's Andreas to Goddard's. And 2 karts came in, 2 karts came out, but it's still Kai Cruz. But Colin Minari is sizing him up as he crosses the line. So that's a good little scrap there for 8th place.
Colin will have a long look up the inside line red gate.
And he takes the position, yes. On our screens we can see, but Kai Cruz comes back against him as they go down through Cranny Curve. So it's side by side between the 90 and the 83 kart, but we pick up the leader, Peter Elkman, who gets the last lap ball this time with 15 seconds on the clock. So Elkman safely in the lead, and we wait for Andreas Jost, and it's 8.6 seconds. And we wait to see where, down on the train occurs, Peter Elkman gets past the slower cart.
The job almost done for Peter this weekend. The 2 CIK wins and perhaps a Grand Prix win. But halfway around, or approaching the halfway stage of this last lap for him. And it's certainly been a better Sunday than yesterday was, where he had troubled times.
So Elkman through the plain section, through Coppice for the final time. Nice and tidy. Comes out onto that exhibition straight. Few corners left to make it a perfect weekend for him. 2 pole positions, 2 wins in the CIK and a win, and retains the Grand Prix plate. Down to the Melbourne Loop.
Cruz and Minari still at it, going down to the red gate once again. Minari going to try what he did on the last lap. As our
So into the
back with
into
us,
the final
Gary,
corner comes Peter Eltman, the 1 kart. 3 starts today, 3 wins.
Well done,
Arm
Peter.
goes in the air and takes a checker flag, so an excellent win for Peter Eltman. Across the line comes Danny Chan, 1 lap down, as Andres Yost, the 12 kart, gets a good 2nd place.
Very good drive from Anders as well in 2nd place. Couldn't do much about Peter Eltman. He tried his best. 9.7 down at the end.
Vic Hempshire gets a good finish, so that's 12th for Vic, but more importantly gets points in the championship as we wait for the 3rd place finisher. And out of Goddard's
Vic will be pleased with that,
so this is the 8 kart of Carl Hume. So
well done, Carl.
Well done. Yes, an overnight engine build for him. So good result for Carl Hume, and we're looking for Dave Harvey. Yes, and the 14 kart of Dave Harvey comes across the line with Daniel Thompson 1 lap down. So that's the first 4.
It's a great result for Dave as well. Of course, been riding 250 racing for donkey's years, and as Carl Kinsey, of course.
Okay, well, I'm going to leave you to wrap up, John, and I'm going to rush down to the
You're going to do anthems and things down there, yes?
So I'll catch up with you in a few moments.
It's only really been the 1 anthem you've needed today, actually, so far. Well, Peter will not be objecting to that, so a great drive, as we said, by Peter Eltman once again. He's really had a great Sunday here at Donington with the 2 CIK wins and a dominant win in this Grand Prix once again. And my congratulations to him. I said to him during the week, anytime I come over to a Grand Prix, you seem to pick up a win, as I saw him win at Cadwell in the past, I think on a couple of occasions, and he's done it again this weekend. And really no one could take it away from him. Excellent driving. The pace all weekend has not been there all weekend because he had trouble testing times. He wasn't a happy bunny on a couple of occasions yesterday. We could see that, but today I think there'll be a rather broad smile on Peter Eltman's face. And Anders Yost coming home in 2nd, go very, very well indeed in that Grand Prix. And then a group of, I hesitate to call them veterans, but all 3 of them have been riding UK racing for quite a while. Carl Hume won over in my country at Bishopscourt. Was it last season or the season before? I was absolutely delighted with that. He's very popular when he comes across. There's Dave Harvey and Carl Kinsey, who have both visited us in the past, and I reiterate that we do have our Irish Kart Grand Prix at Nuts Corner later in the year, and you're all welcome. That includes personnel, commentators, everybody, and many of those drivers have driven there in the past, and it's run at Nuts Corner by the Ulster Karting Club rather than Bishopscourt or Kirkuson, the other 2 major long circuits over there. But Nuts Corner not quite as long, but an excellent circuit for that event, and we would love to see any or all of you over there. If you want to find out any information about it, you feel free to come and talk to me, John Galloway, or go onto the Northern Ireland Karting Association website or the Ulster Karting Club website, and you can find out all about that event at the latter end of August. So Gary has gone down to the podium just down below me here. We'll be hearing the strains of an anthem shortly, and we'll get an interview no doubt coming through with Peter Eltman, who's had such a wonderful weekend, and my congratulations to him. 2 more Grand Prix to come. Next up is the Sound and the Fury of 250 National, etc., which will be interesting, and then the 125s. And there are 4 more car races to come, and Duncan will be back on the microphone, and we'll be leaving him to it. I'll have to start thinking quite soon about heading to the airport once again and beating my way back to Northern Ireland ahead of all my colleagues who are down in the garages down there. Our 2 first hope of my drivers from Northern Ireland was Niall Fox from kart number 2 in 7th, and Colin Minari finishing behind him in 9th. And I would say they'd be relatively happy with that. I'll just say relatively at this moment in time.
I'm down on the podium. While, if I can just cut in, guys, while we're waiting for the drivers to come onto the podium. I'll have a quick word with Paul Elmore. Paul Elmore's here to present the trophies for this race, but you won the very first Superkart Grand Prix 40 years ago, Paul, 1978 at Silverstone.
Don't remind me of the time. It was a long time ago. But yeah, things have progressed on there. It's fantastic to see the progression of the Superkarts. So long may it continue. Looking forward to the 250 singles and the 125s. They're still recognised, very competitive. So yeah, all in all, been a good weekend.
But did you think 40 years ago that it would still be taking place, or was it still in its infancy back then?
To be honest, I thought it might have progressed even more, but you don't take the cost of everything into account. Of course, when I was doing it, back in the Zip team and all the other teams, it was basically, you know, anybody could do it. It was for the working man. It wasn't too expensive. It was in everybody's reach. And I understand that's not the case now, which is a shame. So, you know, that's progression, I suppose, not only with karting, it's every form of motorsport.
Great stuff. Okay, so we're waiting for the top 4 drivers to appear, and yes, they have appeared. So in 4th place, if we can bring them out onto the grid, and we'll let the 250s go out for their start. So in 4th place, Dave Harvey. In 3rd place, Carl Hume. In 2nd place, Andres Yost. And the winner again, 3 starts, 3 wins, retains his GP plate, Peter Elkman. So we will go to the national anthem while we can for the German national anthem. Okay, so to present the trophies is Paul Elmore, so the 4th place trophy to Dave Harvey. Third place, the 8 kart, maximum points in the championship as well, Carl Hume.
Thanks very much, mate. Thank you. But I'm still chasing you. Yeah.
And 2nd place, 1 place improvement in this race for Andres Yost. And the winner retains his Grand Prix plate. And perhaps we'd like to see you use it over here sometime, Peter. The winner, Peter Elkman. So I'll let you take the start of this race, John, as they come across. But we'll quick grab a
perfect timing. We're underway, and just as it happened yesterday, our Australian friend was gobbled up by about 4 or 5 karts going down into Redgate. He just didn't seem to pick up the start, and that happened with him yesterday. And I lost his name for a moment. Jordy Ford.
And one chat with Peter. So perfect day for you, Peter.
Absolute fantastic weekend for us. Maximum points, winning the GP, pole position, fastest lap. There was nothing more to dream about before this weekend. So, yeah, great
stuff. Well done. Okay, and we'll try and catch a word with the other guys later on. But back to you, John, to see this race in progress.
Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Peter. My congratulations to you. I'm glad it worked out for you this weekend. And maybe I did bring you a bit of luck once again. But Jordy Ford, as I said, was gobbled up by the 4 or 5 karts going down into Redgate. he came to the line. Yesterday he seemed to be unsure whether the race was going to start or not, and it seemed to be something similar today, and they came snoring past him, and well, good to see what happens when they come back round. Watch for Platt, Clark, Bird, Leighton, Bennett and company, and Isherwood, and that's the top group in this one, and when they come back round to me, Gary, no doubt you'll be sprinting back up here very shortly, as you are more familiar with these guys and you pick them up quicker than me, but the computer will do that for me once they cross the line, of course. But Geordie Ford was left, almost, you might have said, if it was a standing start, he was left on the grid. Let's see what's happened by now, mind you. It's the number 1 cart that came through there, then. That's Clark, Dan Clark, isn't it? Ford is back up in the second, Hatfield is third, Leighton, Bennett, Platt. That's our top half dozen at the end of that opening lap, but Ford has certainly levered himself back up into second position. Behind the leading cart of Dan Clark on that opening lap, and then we had, as I said, Tom Hatfield up in third, then Jack Leighton, Gavin Bennett, who's had a troubled weekend, is on the GP cart, and Paul Platt, of course. Paul hasn't had the best of luck this weekend. Then Isherwood, Ross Allen, Bird, Seymour, that's the top 11. Then James.
I'll leave you to take this one, John. I'm going to stay down on the podium. If I see anything that's happening down this end into Redgate, I'll give you a call, but I'll let you call the shots on this one.
Okay, that's fine, Gary. I'll do my level best. And Peter's coming back down the Melbourne Straight once again, down into the Melbourne Bend. That corner that's so deceptive, actually, when you go over the crest of the hill. I was out on it, the historic event here a couple of weeks ago, and you dip down to that bend more than you would actually realise until you actually go out there on it, and it comes up very sharply indeed, and then you go up, and it wasn't being used that weekend, but that very tight left-hander hairpins. Whoever invented left-handed hairpins, but it's Geordie Ford now who leads this one on the 101 cart. He's got it back together once again, 131.7.
And Daniel Clark has pulled off at the end of the pit lane, so the 1 cart out of the race, John, so that leaves Geordie Ford well clear in the lead.
It does indeed. I don't know what happened to Daniel there, but yes, as you see, I can see him park now. That was all very sudden. And here's some of the 400s out there, they're rather ancient 4-strokes out of the back, so that brings Gavin Bennett, I assume, up in the second, ahead of Hatfield and Platt, then Leighton and Isherwood. That's very unfortunate for Dan Clark, but Ford 131.7 gave him over a second lead on that lap. And we wait for them once again to appear on the Melbourne Straight, picking them up on the screen, so that it's certainly very tight at the head of the field once again.
Just coming into pit lane late car for Julian Davis, so he's race done for the day.
At the Division 1s, we had a lot of breakdowns in these closing races, but still plenty of them out there in this field. You see Platt on the screen being challenged by Bennett at the moment. So Ford still leads his lead now. That was a 131.2, so he's really turning the pace up. His lead is up to over 5.5 seconds now over Paul Platt in second. Paul is ahead of Gavin Bennett, then Jack Leighton, then Hatfield, Isherwood and Bird, the top 7. Then Allen, Witt, Seymour and James, then Kennedy. So streaming through once more. And here one of the, I'm trying to pick up the leading 400 out there. The one it might be Guilford, I think, might be, who's in 13th overall. I'm not sure if he's running a 400 this weekend. I know he did in the past, but so it might be Percy. Francis is 15th. Ford certainly leading now on the fourth lap, 5.589 seconds, or 131.219 from the Australian that time. And Paul Platt, the challenger in second, the Zero-plated cart of Paul Platt, then GP of Gavin Bennett in third, then me, E-plated Leighton. So here the lettered carts up there. Leighton is the English champion, not standing for European champion on this occasion. And that's our race leader through once again, Geordie Ford 101 after 4 laps. As he stretched it a little bit more, there's Paul Platt on the zero cart in second. And the E-plate comes up in third. So where's Gavin Bennett get? Did Gavin come through that time? Or did I miss him? He must have. He's showing on the screen anyway. The gap is up over 6 seconds to our race leader, Geordie Ford. Issue with his
gets that position opposite Jack Layton into Redgate corner.
Well, the screen was showing Andy Bird 6 as he passed here, so he must have moved up yet another position. Was it Matt Issue he passed there, Gary, that you saw? Yeah. We'll bring him up behind Layton. Jack Layton, who was 4th. So once again, Geordie Ford 6.01 ahead of Paul Platt. After 4 laps now, lap 5, 7 minutes, and almost 8 minutes still to run on this one.
John, if I can quickly cut in the news from Dan Clark, was it the motor seized?
Oh dear.
So that was the end of his race today.
Yeah, that thing that goes up and down inside it decided it got too big for its hole. It happens with them. Seized is a word we never like to hear, and sometimes it's why it seizes is the problem, and how expensive it is once you get inside. We're watching for our race leader once again as the rest of the field goes streaming through here. He's already passed me actually after 5 laps, 131.13 this time from Ford. Still reading off as that. Paul Platt has got it down into the 131s, but still was 3/4 of a second back of the pace of Ford, who is almost 7 seconds clear now of Paul Platt in second, Jack Layton in third, Bird, Ishwood and Allen 4, 5 and 6. Then we Gareth James, who number 7 running in 7th position. Then behind him 71, Don Kennedy. Don Kennedy in 8th. Did you pick up on the leading 400 at all there, Gary? I'm not quite sure who it is. So Kathleen Foster going through. Kathleen is running 400 this weekend on number 12 cart. A young Scottish lady. Great to see Kathleen back racing once again. Ford still leads this one. It'll be 7 seconds, I'm sure, this time when he comes through. And is it? Just waiting for it to come up on the screen. He's just come past me a moment or two ago. 131.13, 7.5 seconds indeed over Paul Platt. For the Australian, looking to claim a win as he did 2 years ago. He unfortunate luck here last year with a broken wire, I believe. But he
just cutting in quickly, John, Matt Ishwood and Jack Layton side by side into Redgate, and Ishwood looks alongside his teammate, and that's allowed Ross Allen to get alongside as they go down through Craner curves.
They were having a little conversation and Ross took advantage, did he? Well, it's all allowed. Or fairly in love and war and teammates or whatever. Ishwood and Layton, you said, we're having a little bit of a team battle in 4th and 5th, and Ross Allen coming through. We'll watch that the next time they come back to start and finish. And as I said, Ford's lead now 7.5 over Paul Platt. And a very good second, 74 going through there. Lawrence just ahead. That's was that Guildford? That might be the leading 400. I'm not quite sure. There's 69. Paritsis is, I think, is one of the 400s. He would well be leading that because he did at many early stages of the weekend, and he's in 11th overall. But no doubt about our race leader, Geordie Ford. He'd set up for this weekend. They declared his intention of coming to Australia and coming back here to grab the title that he missed out on last year. So we might need a different national anthem this time. He's just passed me once again. Having completed 7 laps with 4 minutes to run, 1:31.13 is his best. That was a 1:31.38. His lead now 8.6 seconds. Furious pace he's setting out here. Paul Platt, try as he may, can do nothing about him in second. A very steady, very good Isherwood. It's Bird now in third, ahead of Isherwood and Allen. So those three still battling, and then Jack Layton, then Don Kennedy. Great group of 4 going down there into Redgate once again. Sunshine has disappeared for a moment and the temperature is getting a little bit cooler, but it's still very hot out there on track. Burke past. Off should be the next one up here. That's that midfield group once again. Then Haywood. Park watching this for our race leader once again. He should be due with us very shortly. He's so far clear of the opposition now. It means he's quite easy to miss, but not now, because he's just passed me once again for the 8th time. Jody Ford on the 101 cart, 1:31 once again, 1:31.45. There's Paul Platt still in second on the 0 cart. Paul will realise he can do nothing about Geordie out there ahead of him, number 4. Bird through behind them, in third, holding that other podium position, Andy Bird.
Ross Allen and Matt Isherwood running side by side into Redgate. No one's going to give up on that one, but it's Isherwood that gets at pace as they go down through Craner.
So that would be Isherwood back up into 4th, Gary, and then Jack Layton behind Ross Allen. English champion Jack Layton with the E-plated part in that group as well. The last lap board I can see being made ready down below me. Not being revealed as yet. They're waiting. There's 1:40 on the clock. We're waiting for our race leader to come back round, and I think the timing will be right for him to get it this time as the clock ticks down to 1.5 minutes. He's lapping yet. We will be seeing it this time when he arrives at this point. And he's just gone through there, so Geordie Ford off on the last lap. He's completed 9 laps. I think he did pick it up that time. I think it went out to him. Yeah, it must have. It's been displayed with Moses Ford on his last lap. There should be 10 in this Grand Prix for the national class. Paul Platt still in second. Geordie's lead is 11.36 seconds. There's a colossal battle going down towards Redgate at the moment with Alan Layton and company. And
very aggressive to Redgate that time, and Jack Layton came around the outside of Isherwood and Ross Allen side by side, but Ross Allen used a little bit more of the track and eased Isherwood out of that position.
Yes, as they crossed the line, they're all looking at each other as if here goes guys, who's going to hang on to the corner this time, but thankfully they're all through it safely. Geordie Ford already well away on his last lap and probably humming the Australian national anthem to himself on the way around. Advanced Australia Fair will be the strains we'll be hearing soon. We were hearing it in advance on a couple of occasions yesterday when it was being rehearsed, and well, it won't be a rehearsal this time, Gary. You can see him on screen here at the moment, coming through the probably Essex, I think that is, and down Melbourne once again, looming large on the screen. And in fact, he was coming out of Goddard's that time because the checkered flag is flying, and Geordie Ford has taken the second Grand Prix title of the weekend. He'll be absolutely delighted about that one. I wonder if there's anyone up in Australia listening at the moment. Paul Platt is home in second, an excellent second to Paul, 13 seconds back of the flying Geordie Ford this weekend. Bird comes home in third, Andy Bird at third, then Matt Isherwood, Ross Allen, fact, the screen is shuffling itself here at the moment, but it comes back up again. Indeed, Andy Bird, then Leighton, then Allen, and Isherwood would be the correct position. Jack Leighton coming up ahead of Ross Allen, then Matt Isherwood to complete the top 6. So Geordie Ford, Paul Platt, Andy Bird, Jack Leighton, Ross Allen, Matt Isherwood are top 6 in the 250. I'll call it the National Grand Prix. And then Wigg, Seymour, James and Kennedy completing the top 10. And I think the first of the 400, 450 home was Claritzis in kart 69 and an excellent 11th overall. I could stand corrected on that one, but I think that is correct. And he was one of the front runners of that group all weekend. So, one victory going to Germany, one to Australia so far, the 125 still to come. And Gary, your thoughts on that one, and you will have Geordie Ford on the rostrum with you, I'm sure, in the next few minutes. So we're on a slowing down lap still at the moment as the rest of the large 250. As I said, I'm still referring to as the national field. It's the MSA British Superkart round as well. They come streaming home. And the 125 is probably unusual for the 125 to close proceedings, and traditionally it would have been the 250s or Division 1s over the years, but 125s will provide some wonderful entertainment this weekend and have done all season, and there's a very, very strong class on, and I think this will be another final that really will be worth watching. We're waiting for Geordie Ford and co to come back into the paddock. I assume. I haven't seen him come down pit lane as yet, but I'm watching the cars out there on the circuit here at Donington. A few more of them appearing just over my right shoulder at the moment. And Marshall's ensuring that they keep the speed down to a sensible level. I think that's Geordie Ford actually heading in now. Indeed it is. I can see Paul Platt. That's our first three. They're just coming down now. Ford, Paul Platt. Handshakes from Geordie Ford to some of the marshals there.
The top 6 as they come down pit lane. Geordie Ford to 101, Paul Platt 0 kart, 4 Andy Bird, the E-kart of Jack Leighton, the 6 karts of Ross Allen, and the 60 of Matt Isherwood. So we'll let the drivers get their karts into Parc Fermé, and helmets and gloves off. And we'll get them up on the podium to present those first 6 trophies. But Geordie Ford came from Australia. One objective this weekend was to retain that, or get back that GP plate that he won 2 years ago, and unfortunately lost on the final lap here last year.
Yes, he's certainly done a grand job this weekend, and absolutely flying out there in that Grand Prix this weekend. Especially the race we've just seen, and Paul Platt, try as he may, could do nothing about him, but Paul in a very excellent second position. And Paul will be picking up the major British Championship points from that, Gary, won't he? So he'll be perhaps happy enough with that as well. If one is ever happy with the second place, that is. The Anderson, it's the Red Speed gas engine that Andy Bird is running this weekend, actually, and a good result for it. Paul Platt, of course, is a gas
Johnny,
as well.
if I can quickly cut in while we're waiting for drivers to appear. So we've got Simon Blunt, the General Secretary of the MSA, to present the trophies. A quick word with Simon. So enjoyed your day's Superkart racing, Simon?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great sport, beautiful weather for it. These guys are really brave, and it's really exciting to watch.
Well done. So can't get more praise from our esteemed colleagues at the MSA, who govern all of UK motorsport, as we await the 6 drivers to appear from somewhere.
They'll probably be talking to somebody. You know what drivers are like. They're having a little discussion with everybody before they get to you, Gary. Drivers are like that. We know that. But well, they need to catch their breath as well. Well, I know we said yesterday that Donington isn't as punishing as perhaps as some circuits we've run the Grand Prix all in the past, but it's still the tension and the whatever out there that takes it as well.
So Andy Bird has won the race to the podium, but I'm looking for the 60 kart of Matt Isherwood. So if we can bring Matt through straight away. So in 6th place, Matt Isherwood. In 5th place, Ross Allen. 4th place, the English champion, Jack Layton. 3rd spot, Andy Bird. 2nd, Paul Platt. And the winner, with one title under his belt this weekend, coming and got it, Geordie Ford. So we'll go for the Australian national anthem. Okay, so to present the trophies will be Simon Blount for the MSA. So the 6th place trophy goes to Matt Isherwood. 5th place to Ross Allen. 4th place, Jack Layton. Come to our top 3, 3rd place, Andy Bird. 2nd place this time, Paul Platt. And the winner gets back that GP plate that he lost last year, Geordie Ford. So I'll try and grab a quick word with the top 3 very quickly. So Andy, 3rd place?
3rd place, yeah, very happy. Terrible start. I missed 2nd gear off the line and I think I was 10th. I don't know where I was at the start, but no man's land, so happy with 3rd. Very happy.
Well done, Andy. And a quick word with Paul Platt before I get sprayed with champagne and everybody else does. I think there's a trick under your sleeve. Thanks, guys. I've got another one to go, yeah? So 2nd place, Paul, well done.
Yeah, well done. Well, yeah. Got mugged at the start, to be honest. I think I fluffed it a little bit, but also then I was stuck with 3 Parkers, three team Parkers, and they're all hustling me everywhere. And every time I tried to go somewhere, they just blocked me, and by that time, Geordie had gone. And I was on my own, and that was it. So, no, 2nd's good. Not bad, 2 first and a 2nd today, isn't it? So,
well done,
yeah,
well done.
Well done, Paul. And our winner, so you had 1 target this weekend, Geordie, and you've pulled it off again. So, GP plate goes back to Australia.
Yeah, again, absolutely stoked, and it's a massive weight off my shoulders after last year's disappointment. But I mean, these boys have really stepped up, the Red Speed boys this year, and had us worrying and on my toes. Once I got out in the lead, it was a tough start, like all of us had on the front row. Got through, but just had to slowly take my time, not panic, and race forward, just keep my head down, and I had a comfortable buffer, and it was just yeah, bring it home. Don't repeat last year.
Great stuff, well done. So that's your top 6. That's Matt Isherwood, Ross Allen, Jack Layton, Andy Bird, Paul Platt and Geordie Ford.
Well, thank you, Gary. The 125 is coming out onto the circuit now, and that's perfectly timed. We've been with the times and occupied gathering some of the 250s from the farther realms of Donington Park. So my congratulations to Geordie. It's a long, long way to come for a race, but I'm sure to him it seems all worthwhile at the moment, and he'll be enjoying his journey home whenever that is. I can assure him if he'd like to come and try and add another Grand Prix title, he would be welcome to come to Northern Ireland as well later in the year. It's the end of August, Geordie. One, 2, 5s, as I said, coming out onto the circuit now on their rolling lap, and what a battle this should be. Our last Grand Prix of the weekend. There's 4 car races to go, and Duncan will be taking you through those. They'll be starting off with the Mazdas once again, then the Minis, which were great entertainment, the MG Only Cup Championship, and the Mallocks, the Club Sports Prototypes once again. I'm not sure how our time is fixed now. It's coming up in 20 past 4. This race was, well, we're just about 5 minutes behind schedule, so it's been pretty good. The weather having been fair to us makes life a lot easier, and we're in spot on time, I think, apart from gathering carts from the farther realms of the circuit. There were a lot of stoppages today. You know, years gone by when we had massive grids, the carts weren't quite as reliable. They're pretty reliable now, but today, well, it's been a long, hard weekend, and some of the guys have been testing here since Thursday, and you can't expect them to run forever when you keep them going, taking them out there. It's great to be back at my first Grand Prix for a few seasons. I did Cadwell many times, and I raced way back in the early days of the Grand Prix, and the commentary has taken over in recent times, and through our health I missed out the last couple of years. But it's great to be back at Donington this weekend, and being made welcome once again by the British Superkart Association, and renew a lot of old friendships. And hopefully we'll be doing it in the future as the 1, 2, 5s get underway. And one of the leading runners is suddenly, was almost stopping in the middle of the field. Was it number 4? I think that's Matt Robinson, who really looked like he was in the wrong gear or something as he came to the line. And Matt's been a front runner all weekend, but a bit like what happened to Geordie Ford at his start. He was suddenly gobbled up by a whole lot of them there as they went down to Redgate for the first time. But we'll see what happens when they come back round to us. Gary has rejoined me once again, I'm glad to say.
Thanks, John. Yes, so a couple of carts went off on the outside of Redgate. Didn't quite pick up the numbers, but it looks like that is Liam Morley that leads them through McLean for the first time from Chris Needham, Sam Moss and Kirk Patmore there. Noel Brenner running side by side with Andy Connor.
Yeah, Liam Morley hasn't had the best of times with a bigger cart this weekend. Let's see what happens with his 1, 2, 5 this time. And I heard you mention the game with the man from Kilkenny there. It'd be nice to see Noel up there challenging.
Yes, and Andy Connor in the 6th place when he come towards through Fox Hiss for the first time. It is Morley, Needham, Kirk Cattermole, Sam Moss, the E-Cart of Lee Harpham. Noel Brennan looking for a move up the inside of 94, Tim King, and just about pulls it off. But they're all bunched up behind them, but no one really got here at once. So Morley leads into his first time.
That is Morley indeed.
As we go through the production this weekend, Morley, Needham, Cattermole, Lee Harpham, Sam Moss side by side is Andrew Connor and Noel Brennan, and it's Tim King, Phil Rowlands, Ian Larder, Matt Robinson way back down there in 11th place ahead of the 23 cart of Trent Bridge.
Yeah, it just seemed to dwell on him as he covered off the line. He was swallowed up by a group of carts, and that's why Robinson's so far back on this one. But watch for him coming through, no doubt. This is building up into a cracker, I think, this time, Gary, because the front runners are all up there.
Well, if they don't let Liam Morley get away,
He opened up a bit of a lead out of Redgate there, actually.
Both Chris Needham and Kurt Cattermole said in the past that I think they know how to get the win over Liam Morley, but it's one thing to say. So it is the lighter part, that's the one part of Morley that comes onto the exhibition straight.
Well, perhaps what they've got to do is get their heads down,
work together.
Exactly,
work together.
Not get involved. If they get involved, Liam will be off, and they'll just wave bye-bye to them. Somebody walking across the
closing it up onto the back of Chris Needham, up into, yes, Cattermole takes that second spot from Chris Needham into the Melbourne loop, but Needham gets the cut back and gets that second place on the exit of Melbourne loop into Goddard's. But if those two are going to fight over that second place, it could allow the one part to get away.
Needham still second, is it?
Yes, Needham back into second, and close that gap on the one part now.
Connor is fourth.
Liam Morley has been struggling with electrical problems all weekend on that 125 part. They've literally changed everything, wiring looms and batteries and ignitions and all sorts of stuff. So have they found the cure?
Well, as I said earlier in the day, electrical problems, that's really what you have to do, just rip the whole lot out. Because you'll never resolve it if it's somewhere hiding in there and something that you can't get at.
So Morley quickest up in the race so far, 37.098.
You see, Brennan has disappeared. I saw someone walking on the grass. That might well have been.
Yes, it was.
Brennan.
Yes, because Noel Brennan does not feature on our front screen. So Dyson for that fourth, fifth spot with Andy Connor. Yellow flags over on the exit of Property Aces. Can't quite make out who that is. It could possibly be the further forward of Grant Craven. Finds out the part over the barrier. So race over for Grant Craven. Leaders come towards Kevin Pearson's and Chris Needham tucked up right behind the one cart of Liam Morley. It's 1, 2, 3 that close, and Kurt Cattermole. It's these three that have broken away, and this is the three that were racing for the championship at Snetterton about a month ago, bank holiday meeting at Snetterton, and trying to work in unison to Needham closing up onto the back of that one car. It's a big one with the car, so it's not quite close enough to take a move into Goddard's, but still, Morley is Needham. Cattermole has opened big 2 laps and got a gap before it's Andy Connor, then it's Lee Harson, then it's Matt Robinson making up ground, and Sam Moss, Tim King, Phil Rowlands, Ian Willard of 21 car, then Brian Jones and Neil Robinson, and Jonathan Bell coming under pressure from the 23 car, Tim Bridge.
Johnny Bell running in quick position of about 74.
Needham closes up onto the back of Morley as they go through Kramer curves into the old hairpin, but
Needham was the fastest of the leading 3 on that last lap, but there's only 10ths in it really, isn't there? Second fastest was Cattermole, and he seemed to close once again down the Wheatcross straight that time. So just to see what Cattermole does up on the exhibition straight at the top end of the circuit. He seemed to be faster down through this area.
Yeah, they're all tucked in close together, so they go through copies this time. And,
that's what I would expect at this time, very indeed, yes.
Even tucked up right behind that one car as they come past the exhibition centre. See them moving up to Property Essex this time. Jinx to the left, but not quite close enough.
He's coming down a little bit of slipstream in there as well. So that's in the backs of the Northwest 200 a few weeks ago. This is scary stuff at the moment.
And Lee Harper fakes a move up onto the inside of Andrew Connor, and Matt Robinson was looking for a bit of action there as well, but he didn't quite get through. But
Matt's done very well after his slow start to get through in the 6th.
2 groups of 3, so it's the 3 of Morley, Needham and Cattermole, and then we've got this next 3 of Connor, Harpham and Robinson. And then we've got another trio of Moss, Rowlands and Tim King. So 3 distinct battles, and it's side by side for the battle for 4th place. 3 abreast, Harpham and Robinson, all that puff of smoke going in.
Probably had 4th there, Gary, but not quite.
Robinson knocks up the wheels going to Redgate, but it's Harpham that's got that 4th place, and Andrew Connor is shuffled back down to 6th spot. Liam Morley puts in another fastest lap at 36.866. It's half a second outside his back record. And that needs to go of this race. points at stake. It's down to trophies. That's
teams have cherished for many years. Just looking for a video, but I don't see Sarah out there today. We had her up in the top person earlier on the day.
She's a couple of laps. Sarah's finished, but first three into Melbourne, no difference in the gaps. It does close up dramatically onto the back of and Matt Robinson drives up the inside of Lee Harper to take that full spot. So yeah, moving slightly better in the brakes into that Melbourne loop.
136 from Molly. 136 is 6, that's the first 136 we've seen.
Chris Needham now second fastest lap of the race at 36.694.
So he has changed, the second position is 136s.
All three in the top three drivers set their personal bests of the race so far.
The wind has dropped again, that could be quite possible for him.
38, but because this isn't the championship round, John, the chances are that some of the guys have been bolted on new sets of rubber for this one. So,
absolutely.
It's a perfect type of do, and Andrew Connell there.
136.694 at this meeting.
It's a quantum between Sam Moss. Robinson, that's a couple of runs on. We see Brian Burns at 66 of Neil Robinson, Anderson Chilcott, and 23 Kart of Clint Bridge. And a good scrap as they go up towards Coppis, but our leaders are through Properties and down to Melbourne, and certainly it's now a two-way scrap for the lead because Kurt Patton's dropped off of that group a bit more. Once again, Chris Needham closes up on the brakes into that Melbourne loop as Andrew Connell has a sneaky look up the inside of Matt Robinson and gets that spot back. So that's back up the first place is over.
There you have it.
So 6 minutes done, 5 minutes on the clock, and Morley grabs back that fastest lap of the race at 36.567. So that's a lap record of 36.3, 2/10 off of it at the moment. Leading Andrew Connell and Matt Robinson through Bedgate, still holding that fourth spot.
Top of the all in the 36s the last couple of laps, but Molly as we said, down the fastest of them. 36.5 from the last is his best.
Side by side.
Fed that was on his last lap.
Kart into pit lane, one of those with 23 Kart to Clinton Bridge, so Clinton Bridge is up there dicing a good spot and goes down the engine onto so his day is over. So this battle up front, is it going to be more, is it going to be needed? The rest of the game, and Needham's not letting him get away with it. This is about 2 or 3 lengths, I think. When Needham can close up the game on the brakes, yes, he's much stronger. Oh, and if he was about another kart length closer, I think he could have made a successful pass there, but he makes a lot of ground up on the braking into Melbourne Loop. But that's back out of the manoeuvre that time, so it's a Goddard to complete 7 laps. Through the one kart from the 35 kart. Jock Patamol.
Needham faster again. The fastest lap for Needham at 36.4.
Needham 10th off of the lap record.
Yeah, it showed when he closed on him at the end at Redgate there. Robinson having driven up that slow start because that's a really excellent to get himself back up in the 4th. What did Lee Harper that time coming right after the 6 out of range from King? Pigler in 8th, then Sam Moss at right, then Ian Lauder in 10th.
Let's go through Schwab's curve. Towards the climb, but still the run of the 35 kart. Still glued nose to tail, but certainly Chris Needham seems to be stronger into Melbourne, but he needs to get the toe down this exhibition straight. I think he's ideally placed this time because he's tucked up right behind the one cart as they come towards us. So please see this time. Slipstream. And this time I think Needham is a lot closer than he was the lap before, so will he be close enough to throw it up the inside into the Melbourne loop? So Morley's still holding on to that lead spot. Laps with 2 minutes on the clock. It's lap that time, and it was Morley by a fraction, so it's 0.3 of a second. Head down to Redgate. Fastest lap so far of Chris Needham, but Liam Morley set his personal best of the race, and so did Kurt Cantemore that time. So Chris Needham still got that fastest lap of the race at 36.4. So Morley's best lap so far, 36.5, but can't seem to shake off the attentions of the 35 car, Chris Needham. The winner earlier on this morning. Look further back, we've got Phil Wellington 7th.
That's not more than handout.
So Sam Mustang in 19, Lara 10th, Johnson Bay 11th, and Neil Robinson completes the top 12. So yes, we've got 1 minute 12 on the clock. So the last lap balls will be going out. And the leaders coming out to complete their 9th lap.
So if Chris has got anything left, and I doubt it. I think he's probably trying to bring a car out, but he's just following moving around, but just following at a very rapid pace.
Further away this time, so just not quite
so pressure
to move into that Melbourne loop. That time still stuck there in the third place, and Harper and Andrew Connor makes a dive up the inside of the E-Kart into Melbourne loop to take that 5th spot. So it's now Matt Robinson with the 6 and the E. So last lap ball goes out for the leaders. And Liam Morley sets the fastest lap at 36.387, and that's almost on his lap record of last year.
If everybody needed it, it was now, and he's just produced it perfectly on time. And 36.387, whenever did he needed that 10th. Gives him a half second lead as it beat him going down into Redgate for the last time, and they're well through there now.
The old hairpin leader unchanged. There's Morley's bumping up, just edging slightly further away as they go through Schwemm's curve and up towards the trains for the final time. So a disastrous weekend so far for Liam Morley in the Division 1 category and 2 DNFs in the 125 Open Championship, but the GP could be his as 2 spinners, and that looks like is that Sam Moss. See from here, but 2 carts off. But out of Fogarty's for the last time, and it is the 1 cart still in front from the 35 of Chris Needham. This is going to be, it's either going to be here or it's going to be into Goddard, but not quite close enough. There's a cart that's just off the racing line, but on the exit, and it's side by side as they come up towards Goddard. Morley has the inside line, Needham has the outside line, so Morley's going to defend that inside, but will he be able to hold it, sticking it side by side out of the last corner, and Needham comes around the outside, and as they come up to the line, and Morley just gets it by half a leg, fist in the air, and Chris Needham trying to urge that Iami motor to make it, but 0.037 was the gap, and this is reminiscent of the scrap last year between Liam Morley and Danny Edwards. But it's Morley that takes it from Needham with Catamol 3rd. Matt Robinson gets the full spot from Lee Harper and Phil Rowlands, and I'll let John bring through the rest of them as I rush off again to the podium, so it'll be good to have a chat with those top 2.
Yeah, what a finish. Chris Needham had a tremendous effort. He produced a 136.476 on that last lap. Almost to sorry, it was a 136.479. His best was a 136.476. And it was just, well, just a whip in there. He's probably really between them. They looked at each other, but Morley, he just got it. It was like 2 racehorses going over the line. The jockeys always made a result, and the jockeys certainly in the 2 carts did go today. Chris Needham made a tremendous effort. on that last lap. They wrenched it away from Morley, but not quite. And Morley's luck, which has been poor in the 250 all weekend, changing form right in the last kart race, the last Grand Prix of the weekend. And my congratulations to him as well. The rest of the 125s, Kirk Cattermole coming home in third. Matt Robinson, who was really left at the start almost, coming home in fourth, ahead of Lee Harper and Rollins, King, Moss, Laura, and they pushed Osterman home. And I'm glad to say that. And Johnny Bell, Johnny on the 74 kart, coming home in 10th position. The team will be quite happy with that, I'm sure, in the Grand Prix. They've been contesting the British Championship this year and spending an awful lot of time touring and throwing to the various rounds, and will continue to do so, no doubt. And I see the team, Andy Hamilton and Richard and everyone down there below. I haven't got down to talk to you guys this weekend as yet. As you know, I'm not very mobile, but perhaps I will before I head for the plane. Anyway, if I don't see you here, I'll be seeing you back at home. And congratulations indeed to Ian from Concord up there in Lancashire, very close to Morecambe, of course, and a driver who we've had over Bishop's Court and all around in the past, and who did winning in the 250 and 125 class the British Championship round at Bishop's Court last season, I believe it was, and I think we're due that championship back next year once again. We've got another few of the other competitors will come and join us. They support us very, very well indeed last year. Was it last year or was it the year before? I'm not quite sure, but it was last season actually. And Chris Needham likewise has held a lap record. Both of those drivers have held a lap record, outright lap record at Bishop's Court. When I do say outright lap record, I mean outright lap record, but it's fast. The karts are faster than cars and whatever. Cattermole coming home in third, then Robinson, Harper and Rollins completing the top six. And I'm not sure whether Gary will have all six on the podium with him this time or not, but we will wait until they come back down from the slowing down lap. Wonderful racing, as I expected from the 125s. It's something that we really expect from them. And it is a tremendous class. And really, how do those even motors take a punch? Because they certainly do. I can remember the introduction of the 125 class, which really brought about the end of 210 National and the old Villiers class. And we wondered in the early days, we had Michaels, we had Aspens, I even raced a 125 for Tessa, and various things they did, TVM, Yamahas and whatever, but of course they're all water cooled now. They were air cooled in those early days, and they are fantastic little outfits and go extremely well. It mystifies me that the 125 class in motorcycling has seen about its demise, really, as of course has 250, but I think motorcycling has perhaps made a great mistake there.
Has it been like it all day?
It's gradually been getting worse.
Yeah,
this afternoon.
So we wait to hear from Gary as he's galloped down those stairs once again, which is certainly more than I can do at the moment. Galloping up them is also a problem for me, but we'll hear him over the mic when he gets Liam Morley and the guys together down there. Liam, Chris Needham and Kirk Cattermole are top three.
So if I can cut in, John, while we're waiting for the top six to reappear, we've got Danny Edwards on the podium. So that was a close one. It was almost reminiscent of last year.
Yeah, a bit of deja vu there. I thought Chris might have had a crack at him, but I think he was pretty unlucky there. But all fairness to Liam, he's had some rotten luck this weekend, so well done to him.
I think he's changed just about everything on that kart.
I don't know what he's changed, but whatever it was that he has changed has certainly done him justice.
Great stuff. Okay, so Chris Needham, an outside move, but didn't quite pull it off as they came across the start-finish line on that Wheat Cross straight. Fifth place, the English champion, Lee Harpham. Fourth place, and the number 4 kart, Matt Robinson. Third place, Kirk Cattermole. And second place, Chris Needham. For the winner of the GP, the number 1 kart, Liam Morley. So we'll go for the British National Anthem before we hand out trophies. Okay, so the sixth place trophy being presented by Danny Edwards to Phil Rowlands. Fifth place to Lee Harpham. Hugs and kisses to those two. Fourth place to Matt Robinson. Third place trophy to Kirk Catamol. Second place to Chris Needham, and the winner and the GP plate to Liam Morley. So we'll try and grab a quick word with the top three before the car race starts. So we'll have a quick word with Kirk. So the three of you were working together to start off with, but you just lost a little bit of ground on the two in front.
Yeah, I think the reed blades snapped in half and got sucked into the engine. I think I did well to persevere and bring it home. It's been a long, hard weekend, and I think if I blew it up, my dad ain't going to be happy with me. So I want to do my best and bring it on home.
Well done, Kirk. Third place to Kirk Catamol. We're going to have a quick word with Chris. So you gave that a hard fight there, Chris, round the outside on the final corner, and I could see you urging that engine, come on, get me across that line first, but just not quite.
Just not quite, just not enough. We tried everything then. I was pushing the whole way through the race, and we got close enough. I didn't think I would be coming over the line onto the last lap, but we managed to close up a little bit through the quick stuff out back, and then at the hairpin there was a stop kart on the track, and that helped me. But it pops over a bump coming out last corner and cut out for a second, and I think that's what just did it for me. But we're getting closer to him.
Well done, Chris. So we'll let the cars disappear onto their warming up lap, and we'll have a quick word with the GP winner. So Liam Morley. So it's been a bad weekend so far before it gets sprayed by champagne. So well, what can I say? You left it to the last race of the day, and GP played again.
Yeah, 6 races over the weekend. Didn't finish the first 5. An absolute weekend from hell, really. But not had to work tirelessly all weekend in the garage. And to be fair to them, they got it going, and all credit to them once again this year. And last lap, I had a quick look behind me and saw Chris was there, and I saw double wave yellows down at the hairpin. Little did I know there was a car right in the middle of the track, which screwed me up a little bit. But then a drag race to the line. But luckily, we just got it. So.
Well done, Liam. So that's your top 3. So you can tell that obviously this is the last race for a lot of these guys today. So, but that's your top 6. So that's Phil Rowlands, Lee Harpham, Matt Robinson, Kirk Catamol, Chris Needham, and your GP winner, Liam Morley.